Tonight, the Ottawa Rough Riders and the Hamilton Tiger Cats, live from Iberwin. Here we go, the Tiger Cats ready to roar on a perfect night for football in Hamilton. Just a slight breeze, 21 degrees Celsius. Jim Gilstrap of the Ottawa Rough Riders in his second season, already feeling a little pressure heading into game one. He has a lot of work to do with the offense on this football team in his sixth season coaching in the Canadian Football League. Don Southern smiling just a little bit more. He has a better football team than he had last year, and it wasn't a bad squad last term.
Not bad. He's got the best quarterback all time at the pivot, so he's happy.
Let's get ready to kick it off. It's Wayne Lamley for the Ottawa Rough Riders, and two deep for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, Matt Cody and Jason Kaiser. Underway at Iberwin. It's a short kick coming down to Cody near the 29-yard line, and he's out across the 41 and stop there. Tonight's starting lineups are brought to you by Corral. Matt Dunnigan begins his 14th CFL season with his fifth team. He is on a mission to be recognized as the league's best quarterback. It's going to be a great race. Dunnigan has four receivers: Marcus Grant, Jason Phillips, Ted Long, Matt Cody, all up from Birmingham. And Tony Stewart will be the lone back in the backfield for Dunnigan as he begins just out across the 40-yard line at the 43 with a first down. Operating from the shotgun, Dunnigan shovels it ahead, and it'll be good for a couple of yards. That's Tony Stewart, the former Calgary Stampeder.
Well, it's interesting. Hamilton already, they came out talking about the fact they were going to pass all game. Start out with a little shovel pass, which is basically a running play.
Gain will be 6 yards. We'll call this 2nd and 4. Dunnigan looks good in the black uniform of the Tiger Cats. Standing back with plenty of time. Stewart out of the backfield. He'll have the first down and about 3 yards to spare. One lone running back is Stewart, number 21. Long is actually called a receiving back. Grant, Phillips, Long, and Cody are all former members of the Birmingham team. Corral returns to Hamilton for his 19th CFL season. The newcomer, number 60, is Morgan at right tackle. On first down, Dunnigan pumps once and decides to take off. Tripped up short of the first down by Dwayne Knight.
Well, defensively, the front seven is anchored by veteran Lloyd Lewis at the tackle, but they welcome Jeff Cummings at the rush end position. Ray Bernard is back in the middle. And defensive backs, well, the shoes, big shoes to fill as Jason Wallace plays the halfback for departed Brett Young, who is now on the other team.
Dean is 5 yards. 2nd and 5. Dunnigan swings it out to his left. Grabbed by Jason Phillips, and Phillips breaks one tackle and another. He's inside the 25. Jason Jacobitz, number 20, the safety, up to make the tackle.
Well, it's nothing real complicated about the play. It's just a little hitch screen out to Jason Phillips in the flat, but that's what this receiving corps gives you. Coming over from Birmingham, Phillips had over 1,000 yards receiving last year, and Matt Dunnigan considers this a running play. He'll just dump it out there and let Phillips do the work.
Quick start for the Tiger Cats as Phillips picks up 22 yards. Dunnigan on first down. Time again, and over the middle, complete one more time. This to Matt Cody, another of the Birmingham
Now, wait a minute.
Receivers.
I talked to Matt Dunnigan yesterday in the practice, and Dunnigan told me that his timing is off a little bit. It doesn't look like it's off right now.
Another 13 yards after a 22-yard gain in the previous play. A multiple option offense for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Dunnigan on first down, looks for the end zone, and bounced that one off the post intended for Matt Cody.
Well, Matt Cody has a good vertical jump, but I don't even think, even if that didn't hit the goalpost, that was going way over his head. But as soon as it hits the post, it's a dead ball, and they'll line it up again.
It'll be 2nd and 10.
See the ball now? That's 10 feet up. I don't think Matt Cody can climb the ladder that far.
2nd down, Cody, the intended receiver again, and it's knocked away by Ken Willite on 2nd down. Played 10 games for Sacramento in '94.
He comes in the nickelback position, and he's going to be asked to be playing a lot this week. It's the one-on-one with Matt Cody. It's the same pattern that Matt hit the crossbar of the play before. This time he gets the ball down a little bit behind Cody, and that gives Wilhite a chance to come in and knock it out of there.
So Dunnigan marched all the way down to about the 12-yard line. And Osbaldiston is in to try his first field goal at 96. No mistake about that. For Paul Osbaldiston, hitting on 63% of his field goals last year. He's the punter for the Tiger Cats, the all-round picker again this year. Ticats on top by 3.
Yeah, I talked to Paul Osbaldiston before the game, and he said he had some family difficulties through preseason and training camp. Didn't get a lot of chance for a lot of repetition, so he's sort of feeling his way out in the game. And I'll tell you, for a kicker, it's nice to start off with a nice short chip shot to get your confidence up with your new holder, which is Maroff. And so now he feels comfortable.
Well, there's a ways to go to catch up to number 1, and your old pal as well. Osbaldiston has been at it more than a year or two into his 11th season with the Tiger Cats.
Well, the problem with number 1 is he keeps playing. There's no shot to catch Louis while he keeps playing.
Osbaldiston seemed happy about getting both responsibilities back, although he was the punter in Hamilton for most of his career, most of those 11 seasons, but gave way to Hank Olisic and became just the field goal specialist and kickoff man last year. Dunnigan with a good start tonight. Didn't get it in the end zone, so he won't be a happy guy.
Well, he's up there talking to his offensive coordinator, John Jenkins, on the phone, and they're just trying to work things out and get their timing down for the next series.
Steve Clay and Ken Wilhite back. This is Wilhite beginning at the 25. Ran into the first Ticat tackler at the 30-yard line. David Archer has come all the way from San Antonio to try and make winners of the Ottawa Rough Riders. There are lots of questions about the surrounding cast on offense. Kelvin Means, Steve Clay, the inside receivers, Joseph Rogers. Jermaine Chaney is the running back, and Robert Stevenson will be the only new face in the offensive line for the Ottawa Rough Riders to begin the season. 1st and 10 for Archer and the Rough Riders beginning at the 30. Swings it out for Jermaine Chaney. Chaney has a couple. Stopped by Tom Gerhardt.
Well, when you talk about the front 7 for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, Coach Don Southern keeps talking about the leadership from Mike Campbell. He's at the tackle. Calvin Tiggle replaces Michael O'Shea at the middle linebacker position. And in the secondary, Ottawa's best DB last year, Brett Young, is now with the Hamilton Ticats. Rob Hitchcock takes over the safety position.
The gain is 2, 2nd down and 8. Rough Riders from the 32. Archer from the shotgun. Over the middle on target, enough for a first down. Marcus Grant, or rather, Joseph Rogers, number 83.
Well, this is exactly what the Ottawa Rough Riders have to do. Quick 5-step drop back for David Archer. Get rid of that ball in a hurry and throw it on time. And he needs to get the timing down. Joseph Rogers is going to run the curl pattern. The ball's already on its way. He just turns around, picks it up. And Sam Rogers will throw him to the turn.
Rogers and Rogers. From the 41 on first down. Jermaine Chaney. Nice run around the left side. Chaney hasn't been the number 1 running back in Ottawa long. He's in injury relief.
Last year he only had 12 rushes for 39 yards and a touchdown. So you know he's going to want to feel out the first quarter and just get used to that constantly playing. And Jim Gilstrap's giving him the chance to play this year.
Gain of 6. This will be 2nd and 4. Chaney again, and there's nowhere to go as Chaney ran into Mike Philbrick that time and got kind of tangled up. But Archer did move the football for a couple of first downs.
Well, I definitely wanted to get in there and get a little bit of momentum back. Now they'll punt the ball away and hope that their defense can come in. And after settling down from that first drive that the Hamilton Tiger Cats had, play better on the second drive.
Here's Wayne Lamley standing at his 35. Sam Rogers chased back all the way to the 1-yard line. It bounces there and into the end zone as Rogers gets set to return, and he's smothered right on the goal line. Up to about the 1, stopped by Eric Jeter. So Lamley pins the Tiger Cats deep with a booming 67-yard punt. Sam Rogers has been avoiding Don Southern on the far side after getting that punt only out to the 1-yard line. He should have given up the single point.
And you think that special teams are a treat. It's like a wrestling match all the way. This is Donovan Wright and Jeff Cummings fighting down the field. And, well, that one, I'm going to call that one a draw.
Well, maybe Donovan got the best of it. Certainly the weight advantage belonged to Cummings.
And they laugh about it afterwards.
Ticats first down beginning at the Hamilton 1-yard line. Dunnigan shovels it ahead, and the gain is a couple. Actually out across the 5-yard line, 6 yards. And that's Ted Long who took the handoff, or at least the flip from Dunnigan. Tony Stewart is listed as the only running back in this offense. Long is listed as a receiving back. Gain will be 6 yards, 2nd and 4. Dunnigan with time, took a hit just as he got it away, and there's no catch out across the 22. Intended for Jason Phillips.
Well, Dwayne Knight was coming off the corner, and he was on the full blitz. Matt Dunnigan talked to Ray Bernard at the beginning of the game, and he told me that they were going to send some pressure at Dunnigan. They certainly did on that play. Dwayne Knight put the hammer on Dunnigan just as he released the ball, and really Jason Phillips, he's right at the bottom of your screen. He's going to come from the top side and hit him right there, give him a push to the ground. Jason Phillips really should have hung on.
73 here.
Riders will gain a substantial amount of yardage on the exchange here with any kind of a return. Osbaldiston deep in his end zone. Great average last season. He can't get it away and goes down. So the Ottawa Rough Riders come away with points. Osbaldiston is not very happy after having to give up the safety. After a great start offensively, the Tiger Cats have sputtered a little bit and given up a couple of points to the Ottawa Rough Riders. It's 3-2 and Ivor win. Paul Osbaldiston was forced to give up a safety when the big charge was on.
Yeah, Jason Wallace is coming right from here on your screen, and he's going to get the big pressure on Osbaldiston. This is not a planned play, but Paul Osbaldiston, being aware, saw that Jason was going to block the punt, so he just had to fall down and give up the 2 points.
Give up the 2 and save the 6. And Wallace was shaken up after that. That's Joe Miro exchanging pleasantries with Osbaldiston. Tiger Cats will have to kick it away. So the Ottawa Rough Riders do well on the exchange. Come away with a safety touch, and they get the ball right back. This is Will Ikes, and he won't have a play near the 20-yard line. Dunnigan engineered an opening drive that looked like the Tiger Cats were going to go in and score a touchdown. They got all the way down inside the 10-yard line.
Well, you know, I remember John coming in as in the visiting team in Hamilton, no matter who's playing, and especially when it's a Matt Dunnigan.
Hamilton number 3.
This team was always so pumped up to play you. As a defense, all you really wanted to do was just sort of survive the first drive, or at least the first quarter. And if you could do that, and then people started getting tired, and it became a regular game. And I think basically Ottawa can feel pretty happy with the fact that they only gave up 3 points in that first drive.
No doubt the Ticats came out with terrific excitement and had the momentum from that opening drive. And Ottawa has taken little steam outs of the Tiger Cat offense in particular. Wilhite now. Second chance to return. Markers are down as Gerhardt drags Wilhite down out across the 30 at about the 33. 7 yards on the return after a 55-yard kickoff. And here comes David Archer again.
The #1 ranked passer in 1995. He had over 4,400 yards, 30 touchdowns.
Illegal block. Ottawa number 23. First down.
30 touchdowns and only 8 interceptions. That's one of the most amazing stats. You can see 30 touchdowns compared to 8 interceptions for David Archer.
The outside receivers for Archer, #2 Steve Clay, #81 Kelvin Means, who played a little for the Tiger Cats, Joseph Rogers, and Bill Hess are the inside receivers. Jermaine Cheney will get to carry the football with Lee Knight listed as the blocking back. Play action fake to Cheney. Archer with time, on target, and Kelvin Means had a great opportunity to give the Rough Riders outstanding field position. Derek Greer covering there.
Well, David Archer got the absolute perfect defense for the play he had called, which is a post pattern to Kelvin Means. He gets Greer turned around. Perfect spot for the ball to be where only Kelvin Means can catch it. The only problem is he didn't catch it.
Well, it was catchable, not exactly a real easy catch, but it was just about on the money. The great ones make those catches. 2nd and 10. And this time, he's on target for Joseph Rogers. He may go all the way. #83, Joseph Rogers, a 90-yard touchdown.
No flag.
No markers anywhere. But a turn of events for the Ottawa Rough Riders. They've scored the last 9 points in the ball game.
Well, it was a perfect strike by David Archer, but the work was done, obviously, by Joseph Rogers, who turned the curl pattern into the big touchdown. What tremendous speed once he turned around. There wasn't a defensive back for the Hamilton Tiger Cats that were even close to catching him. You're going to see Archer, he just wants the first down, 3-step drop, throw it into the curl right there. But
See,
Rogers,
I thought he was stopped there.
He breaks the tackle on Rogers, and away he goes, and there's no one that's going to catch him as he heads for the end zone.
Rogers may still be thinking about the safety he should have given up earlier, because it ended up costing the Tiger Cats 2 anyway. Joseph Rogers has a 90-yard touchdown score, and the Ottawa Rough Riders lead the Tiger Cats 9-3.
CFL Live on TSN. Brought to you in part by Diet Pepsi. Diet Pepsi has no diet aftertaste.
David Archer to Joseph Rogers for a 90-yard touchdown. The longest completed pass last year, 76 yards by the Ottawa Rough Riders. That was Andre Ware to Nigel Williams. Neither are members of Ottawa this year, but David Archer has Ottawa on top of the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Taken by Matt Cody. Slowed down and tried to squirt away again, but he stopped near the 35-yard line. Tom Gerhardt has been busy. Another peek at this. I thought the key to it was Rogers actually missing the tackle because he had Rogers in his grasp.
Yeah, Sam Rogers is the guy trying to cover Rogers on the play, and he just breaks the tackle, and away he goes. And what a play for the rookie. He comes out of Texas Southern. He's only 5'7", 165 pounds, but as we can see, he can fly.
He's got the jets, and that'll make things a little bit more interesting as Dunnigan gets a little more determined now. Trailing by 6. Dunnigan back against the flow, and he missed his man on the far side, Jason Phillips. Joseph Rogers has a 90-yard touchdown reception, and it took just 2 plays in a minute 14. Ottawa on top of Hamilton 9-3.
Yeah, the first play was about a 30, 40-yard incompletion. The second play was a 10-yard pass that went 90 yards for a touchdown.
That's right. 10-yard pass, missed tackle, touchdown.
And you know what? Joseph Rogers doesn't care how he gets them, as long as he gets them.
2nd and 10 facing the Tiger Cats, and there's an injured Rough Rider back in the Hamilton backfield. Number 58, Dave Harper, trying to shake it off. Harper, a free agent from the Texans out of Humboldt State in his 3rd CFL season.
It's supposed to be a line something like. Supposed to be there.
Lubos Zizakovic is listed as the backup there. Dunnigan, one hop that, intending it for Ted Long. And Eric Jeter was was covering on long. So after that great drive where you said the timing was absolutely perfect for the Tiger Cats, Dunnigan might have been a little bit more correct because his timing has been off in the last couple of sequences.
Well, I think this is more indicative of what you're going to see early in every football game around the league. He takes a hit again from Dwayne Knight as he throws the ball there, does Dunnigan, but he told me that first of all, most of the offensive package that he wants in isn't in yet, and the package they have in, the timing isn't quite right, so it's going to take some time for this offense to gel.
Osbaldiston stepping across the 25 to get a low drive away. Steve Clay at his 35. Squirted through. And there's a marker down near the 50-yard line. 7-yard return after a 41-yard bullet. Peter Brock, the offensive coordinator for the Ottawa Rough Riders. He had the same job in Hamilton last year, but left partway through the season.
And you know what he just mentioned to David Archer?
Major foul, face mask, Hamilton number 41. First down.
He just said to David Archer, hey, you know those little curl patterns that we run? Let's do more of those.
Had some yardage here on the penalty called against the Tiger Cats. Jason Kaiser. He's a rookie out of Culver, Stockton. And he was fingered on the face masking call to set David Archer and the Ottawa Rough Riders up across midfield in Hamilton territory. Jermaine Chaney can't turn the corner with any speed, but he has a couple of yards.
That's a new wrinkle for the offense for Ottawa. They were in that stacked eye, and then the receivers take off one way, the running back takes off the other way. Jermaine Chaney gets that shovel pass right underneath. You're going to see right here in behind this, to the right of your screen is where the I formation begins, and as they take off, the receivers, you see Chaney go to the right of the screen, the receivers have all gone to the left. Just gives the Hamilton defense another look.
Chaney had to circle back deep into the backfield. As a result, there's literally no gain on the play, 2nd and 10. Archer doesn't run often, but he may grab 5 yards here. Another marker down near the 50. As Archer was forced out by linebacker Joe Montford.
Well, where the flag is thrown, it looks like it's going to be holding, but David Archer doesn't...
Archer seems happy. He was clapping his hands down there.
And he was in the huddle.
Okay.
Referee tonight, George Black.
Illegal contact on an eligible receiver, Hamilton number 53. First down.
That's Montford.
They call it's Montford. They call it illegal contact, but it's most likely a mugging. Because that's a linebacker, and it's an eligible receiver going downfield. The linebacker's job is usually just to jam him on the line of scrimmage. Sometimes they get a little overzealous and just do the old tackle job.
Ticats have made a few errors. As a result, it's first down Ottawa. Archer from the shotgun can't get it away. Mike Campbell will get credit for the sack.
3 sacks in 1995 and 33 in his career, and Don Southern says he's a tremendous leader in the locker room, and Michael Campbell is the guy that's going to get the pressure, and he's coming from the top of your screen. Comes right up to the right of David Archer. He has no shot of seeing him. And he goes.
Loss of 5, 2nd and 15 facing Archer now. Heat on again. Archer goes to the far side. Well short of the intended receiver. Robinson knocked it down. Steve Clay was the intended receiver for Ottawa.
Talk about big shoes to fill. Don Robinson, number 9, has to replace Eric Carter, who is in the San Francisco 49ers camp, and he's going to just do the nice little shuffle technique. He has to turn when the ball's in the air, closes on it quickly, and just strips that ball out of there. Eric Carter, of course, led the league in interceptions for Hamilton last year. Don Robinson has to fill that spot.
2 big plays by the Ticat defense, forcing Ottawa into a kicking situation. Lamley down to the goal line for Rogers. And he's out near the 10-yard line. That's where the Tiger Cats will begin. A 10-yard return after a 47-yard punt. Too many losing years in the nation's capital. David Archer tries to turn things around. The percentage for the 80s. 28%. Through the 90s, 31%.
You know what's interesting, though, when you look in the 90s there, the Ottawa Rough Riders are 7-8 against the Hamilton Tiger Cats in Iverwin Stadium in the 90s. They're pretty happy to be here.
But Ottawa's record in 1995, 3-15. Here's Dunnigan. And off target again. I'm not sure who that was intended for.
Well, you know what? You can see right now that there's a timing problem. Matt Dunnigan is looking down the field and expecting receivers to be in a certain position. When they're not in that position, he doesn't feel comfortable releasing the ball. And you're going to see he wants to throw it there, but it sees the receiver isn't in the position he wants him to be. So he just pulls it back, and when he does that, it just comes out of his hands. But there's some timing problems going on right now for Hamilton.
Jeff Cummins and Lloyd Lewis applying the pressure that time. On 2nd and 10. Dunnigan looks to the other side. Almost picked off. Two Ottawa defenders colliding. Joe Miro and Leonard Humphreys had an opportunity at the ball. Ted Long was in the area.
And you know what? Matt Dunnigan got fooled on the play because he thinks it's a one-on-one over there, and he doesn't see Joe Merrill coming from the middle safety position, and he breaks up the play. Matt Dunnigan threw that post.
Marcus Grant was the intended receiver. So again, Osbaldiston standing in the end zone. Steve Clay out around midfield for Ottawa. Riders lead at 9-3 with 2:13 to go in the opening quarter. Good kick by Ozzie. Forces Clay to retreat a bit. And that allows the Ticats special teams to catch up. Dunnigan looked like the master he is in the opening sequence. The last 2 times he's had his hands on the football, he hasn't been able to do anything.
Well, you see him talking to his receivers over there. He's just going to try and straighten things out. He's talking to Marcus Grant and Jason Phillips and saying, okay, listen, this is the reads that we're trying to make. Now, he told me that this is a reading offense. The receivers, the offensive linemen, and the quarterback all have to be on the same page, and right now, they're not. They're in different books.
Archer good on 50%. First down here. Kelvin Means had it and dropped it. Means was the Ticat Rookie of the Year in 1995. Then ran into injury problems and ended up as an Ottawa Rough Rider.
Yeah, he's a great athlete, actually. In college, the University of San Diego, he was a point guard for their basketball team.
This time it's Means to the near side. Steve Clay flanked to the far side of the field. 2nd and 10. Archer's shotgun. Nothing open to his right. Second time he's run. And he's halfway to a first down. Mike Philbrick.
You know, I think David Archer heard us in the opening say that he wasn't the most mobile of quarterbacks. That's the second time he's done a pretty good job to buy himself
the leading rusher for the Ottawa Rough Riders with 12 yards. Leading rusher tonight.
Yeah, he must have heard us. You see how Ottawa is trying to spread everybody out and get the one-on-one matchups and try and get the mismatch. But good coverage in there by Tom Gearhart. Can't find the opening, and David Archer does the smart thing. Take the loss, take the 5-yard gain, and punt the ball away.
Lamley standing at his 42. Coming down to Kaiser. This guy's got speed, but nowhere to run. Jason Kaiser, number 41, has a 6-yard return after a 43-yard punt. And the Rough Riders done a pretty good job of keeping Hamilton deep in the Ticat zone.
You know, the one thing about Matt Dunnigan, though, is the guy with this kind of numbers and this kind of experience in the Canadian Football League, there's how close he is to Ron Lancaster, the all-time touchdown passing leaders. And he's played 6 years less than Ron Lancaster, which is incredible. That's heading into tonight's game. And, you know, Matt Dunnigan, if things aren't working out, he'll simplify his offense. He'll do what works well for him, and he'll get things back on track. You can count on it.
Threw for 34 touchdowns last year. This is Tony Stewart, and there's a big hole opening up. Stewart still going. He may run out of gas on the far side as he's forced out by Leonard Humphreys. 56-yard gain for Tony Stewart.
Well, the quickest way to simplify an offense is to run a running play, and that's basically what Dunnigan's going to do. He's having troubles connecting on the pass. He's just going to give the ball off to what they call the super back, and he looks kind of like Superman on this play as Tony Stewart takes off and gets the big gain and gets some field position back for Hamilton.
56-yard gain. Dunnigan on first down. On target again. And Long. Long was with Dunnigan in Birmingham.
Sorry, Joe. You're starting to get the sense that Dunnigan's just going to do the Sandlot thing right now. He's just going to take things into his hands, gives it to Stewart on the first play, simplify everything up, and that time it was just everybody get open. I'm going to scramble around and find one of you.
Gain is 12 yards. Time ticking down in the opening quarter at Ivor Wynn. This should be the last play. On first down, Dunnigan to his right and throwing deep. Just a little too far. Jason Phillips was the intended receiver. Dunnigan goes gunning for 6. It's the Ottawa Rough Riders on top of the Tiger Cats after quarter 1 in Hamilton, 9-3 on CFL Live.
CFL Live at the quarter. Brought to you by Subway, the place where fresh is the taste.
And welcome back to CFL Control. In our pregame show, we were talking about the Ottawa Rough Riders, and the consensus seemed to be amongst this panel they didn't have a chance. Now they're leading 9-3 after the first quarter of play, and it looks good on them, but Hamilton is threateningly.
Wasn't it me that said that Ottawa was going to win this game? No, I don't think so. Listen, you know what I thought was interesting? You know, we asked Les Brown, what does Hamilton do to compensate for losing so many good players on defense? He said they have to play with enthusiasm. But you know what, Les? I really felt in the first quarter that it was Ottawa that played with far more enthusiasm than Hamilton.
Oh, they played with way more enthusiasm than Hamilton. And that's because, like I said, if you tell somebody that they're not good enough, they're going to rise up about 3 or 4 levels just to prove somebody wrong. And that's what Ottawa's doing right now.
Sam Rogers with a couple of key mistakes in that first quarter of play. That meant field position. It also meant the long touchdown for the Roughies as Archer looked good.
Yeah, let's tell it like it is. Sam Rogers.
Here it comes.
Hey,
You know what?
Sam Rogers.
Don't get on Sam's case too much.
Hey, he blew the touchdown pass too.
Last year, he was their designated import for this team. He had 1,636 yards. When it came to returns, he's a great return guy. And you know what? He'll get his game together. Don't be too harsh on Sam Rogers.
I won't be too harsh on him.
Just Donnie Sutherland's got to grab him and say, look, Sam, take the ball out of the end zone. And just keep the ball in the end zone. Give us the point. We'll take the field position.
Well, he's the reason they're down 9-3. By the way, guys, you know, it's true. Las Vegas favored Hamilton by 16 points at game time tonight.
So it's 22 points.
You're not the only dumb one.
22 points as it stands right now is the deficit that Hamilton has to overcome, and Dunnigan's moving the ball.
They've only played 1 quarter.
Exactly. That's just it. Somebody told me a long time ago football is a very long game, and we've got 3 quarters to go. And like we said, the Ticats are pressing, so let's get you back to Ivor Wynn Stadium.
They're ready to begin the second quarter. With Ottawa on top by 6, somewhat surprising to people turning in. How about now?
I think it's surprising to everyone in the whole country except for the guys that are wearing white tonight.
Rogers, the 99-yard touchdown reception. Dunnigan, 7 of 15, but Archer had the one big play, 113 yards in total passing yards. And that should be a 90-yard touchdown reception, I think. 2nd and 10. Cats at the Ottawa 25. Early movement, but no flags. Dunnigan stands in over the middle on target. Could be the touchdown. It is. Matt Cody. 25-yard touchdown toss. Matt Dunnigan to Matt Cody.
Wow, he was picked 4th in the dispersal draft. He's one of the Birmingham Barracudas that Dunnigan connected with 450 yards last year. And it was a pretty simple pattern. Simple when you're talking, unless you're the defensive back trying to cover him. He gets pushed off. Jason Wallace has to back up because of Cody's speed. And when he does that, he creates a separation. Cody comes underneath, picks it up, and then with the speed gets it in the end zone.
Matt Cody celebrating his first CFL touchdown as a member of the Tiger Cats. Had 3 TDs last year as a receiver in Birmingham. That would I guess 3 came from Dunnigan, although he was out and missed a few games.
Given to you. But what you want to do, because Matt, protection was great that time. Sometimes it's not.
Joe Miro was shaken up on the play. He was back there trying to cover on Cody and seems to be favoring his leg.
Well, with the receivers that the Hamilton Tiger Cats have right now, the speed they have, they don't want to lose Joe Miro because he's the guy who comes in the nickel situations.
Osbaldiston puts the Tiger Cats back on top. It's 10-9 Hamilton. Dunnigan answers quickly in the second quarter. A 25-yard touchdown toss to Matt Cody.
You drink Pepsi, you collect points. You get Pepsi stuff. Pepsi stuff. People who drink it get it.
From either win, Matt Dunnigan has put the Ticats back on top, and he's in conversation with offensive coordinator John Jenkins. Now, these two guys didn't really see eye to eye all of last season when Jenkins was sending in all the plays, and Matt wanted to call his plays, which he's doing this year.
Well, absolutely. Dunnigan felt like his hands were tied a little bit last year, but they worked their problems out, and by the end of the year, they were clicking on all cylinders, which is why Dunnigan had such a tremendous year with almost 5,000 yards, and they've just picked up where they left off.
And that's enough of the conversation for now.
Well, Jenkins said, hey, just do more of that.
I'll call you right back.
They probably cut the playbook down to about 3 plays right now. Get rid of all that confusion they had in the first quarter.
And Dunnigan was telling us yesterday that he was after Jenkins for more and more plays to put in to the game, but they had a little bit of difficulty in the latter stages of the opening quarter, trying to get a few things worked out. But as soon as the second quarter began, a 25-yard touchdown strike to Cody, and Dunnigan has his first of the year. Ticat kickoff. Osbaldiston. Steve Clay has some difficulty. He's away now. Fighting his way across the 43 to maybe the 44-yard line. 27-yard return after a 58-yard kickoff from Osbaldiston. So Archer enters once more, and what's his strategy here?
Well, his strategy is to try and come back, do what he's been doing. They've been having some success offensively, moving the ball on pretty much every possession they've had. And we talked about it in the opening, how that offensive line needed to give him time. And I think for the most part tonight, they've done a pretty good job protecting David Archer.
And Archer's had decent field position. And again, near the 45, he's set up pretty well. Keep it on the ground to Cheney this time.
Well, I tell you what, Calvin Tingle has big shoes to fill, but there's no bigger feet than when you put Calvin Tingle in the middle of your defense. This guy in 1994 led the league in tackles with 135, and he filled up that hole, and Jermaine Cheney just got introduced to a pretty darn good middle linebacker in Calvin Tingle.
Tingle was All-Canadian in '94 with the Argos, and the Argo Rookie of the Year. Missed a few games last year and ended up as a Tiger Cat in 1996. 2nd and 8. Archer to the far side. He has Rogers. Flags are down. Rogers stopped well short of the first down. Joseph Rogers had Ottawa's touchdown earlier on a 90-yard strike from David Archer. We'll check out the infraction.
We're going to have 3rd down.
Sounds like it's against Ottawa.
Definitely against Ottawa, and Hamilton will decline the penalty and put Ottawa in a punting situation. There's the captain, Mike Campbell, in there discussing things with the officials.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness. Ottawa number 57. 3rd down.
Right offensive tackle, Chris Burns.
Yeah, and you know, on those wide receiver hit screens, a lot of times the tackles and guards are pulling out there to get a block on one of the defensive backs, and they run so far by the time they get out there, more than they usually do in a whole game. They just want to hit someone. Obviously, he got caught.
That'll cost Ottawa some field position. Rogers is deep. Here's Lamley. Sam Rogers on the go at the 40. Nice return. He's out near midfield. 13-yard return, 37-yard punts.
Sam Rogers can run them back. 4th in the league last year in the CFL in punt returns, and Hamilton loves to have him back in the secondary and returning those kicks. And Dunnigan's going to go back to that 2 or 3 play playbook, I'm sure, as he starts this next series, because it worked pretty well in the last one. There's how close he is yardage-wise with Mr. Lancaster, and you're talking about it won't take him very long to beat that. If he can stay healthy, it's about a year and a half.
On first down, Dunnigan feels a little heat. Steps up and fires a strike. Good catch by Ted Long. Lloyd Lewis supplying a little pressure. Dunnigan avoided it, and he's got an 8-yard strike.
And it looked like Ted Long just got one hand on that ball. He's just going to step up in the pocket and throw that curl, and pretty good coverage right there by Eric Jeter, but Long comes up with the catch. That's one of those plays where you're in the huddle and or you're in the game film after the game, and you say, that's just a good football play. Good receiver, good catch, good coverage.
Dunnigan on 2nd and 2. Away from the first wave. Still looking for a receiver and no one anywhere around there.
Wow, they're looking.
He got away with one. No flags anywhere either.
Officials were looking around thinking they were reaching for that back pocket, but it looked like Ted Long just got into the screen in time to make it look like an eligible pass, but there's no question that Matt Dunnigan was just trying to dump that one. He was trying to set up the screen to his right, but when it was covered, now you're in trouble, because after the screen's covered, you really have already let all your defensive linemen go free, and you just got to try and get out of there and make something happen out of nothing. Dunnigan saves a big loss.
Osbaldiston on his 46. Steve Clay waiting for Ottawa. He may not get a play on this one. Ozzie aims it out. David Archer will be 1st and 10 when we return to Ivor Wynn. It's Hamilton on top by 1. Back live at Ivor Wynn in Steeltown with the Ticats on top of the Ottawa Rough Riders 10-9. 11:27 to go till halftime. David Archer looks at 1st and 10 beginning at the 7-yard line. Osbaldiston angled a great 41-yard punt out of the 7-yard line. So all of a sudden the great field position we were talking about for Ottawa has disappeared.
And it's a big chance right now to show the experience of a David Archer. Not to do anything stupid down in his own end. He's lost the field position battle, and Hamilton has some momentum. Now he just wants to gain some of that field position back at the very worst.
Play action for Archer. Looks to the far side. Kelvin Means can't come up with it.
Now Derek Greer doing a nice job of coverage on the corner. Kelvin Means going up to try and bring that ball down, and when you're backed up in the end zone, you really need your receivers to come up with this big catch. You're going to see the one-on-one matchup here. Derek Greer and Kelvin Means is going to work him up the field, then break to that out. Greer was equal to the task and just gets just enough of the ball to knock it out of the hands of Kelvin Means.
Greer got back just in time. 117 total yards for Ottawa. This is 2nd and 10.
It's gone, man, it's gone.
As a man, it's gone, and can't get it to him. Steve Clay was the intended receiver, and Don Robinson reacted to the ball.
Well, you're going to see a matchup of a ball. The ball goes up in the air, and it's just thrown up for grabs. And when you get that kind of throw, it all comes down to the size matchup and athlete against athlete. Steve Clay is 5'5", 160 pounds, and a rookie. Don Robinson is 6 feet tall. He's got the height advantage, and when that ball is floated up there, Robinson beats him to it and pulls it down.
Robinson thought he should have had the interception.
Yeah, he wanted the pick there.
So 2 and out for the Rough Riders. Finally from his own end zone. And he'll give up 2 points.
Captain here. We need a Hamilton captain. We need a captain here, guys.
Dieter Brock, great quarterback with the Blue Bombers. And with the Tiger Cats in later years. The offensive coordinator in Ivor Wynn last year. He's back as the offensive coordinator for Ottawa this time. little misunderstanding between Dieter and Don last season, I understand.
Well, it seems to have helped Don to sort of realize the pass-happy CFL these days, because even though Dieter he wanted that passing offense, Don Southern was looking for more running game throughout last season, and that's where the conflict began. Now Dieter Brock's in Ottawa, and Don Southern has Matt Dunnigan and John Jenkins, and guess what they brought in? The passing offense. So, yeah. Dieter Brock got through to him a little bit, even though the conflict ended up in Dieter in Ottawa. And you know the Rough Riders are sure happy to have him, that kind of offensive mind on their side of the football.
Another coaching note, Mike Murphy has resigned as an assistant coach with the Ottawa Rough Riders. This is his last game. He's decided that enough is enough in Ottawa, and he's going back to school to get a master's degree.
Well, if he sees Ottawa hang in here and maybe pull one out of Iverwind Stadium, he might change his mind and come back. No?
Told me this was the last
That's
game.
it, huh?
Too much uncertainty, apparently. Hamilton on top of Ottawa, 12-9. Ticats, after giving up 2, will kick off, or the Rough Riders, after giving up 2, will kick off.
Good decision by Wayne Lamley. Give up the safety, get that field position back.
First, they have to get the ball back. This is Matt Cody ready to return. Good coverage by Ottawa special teams, stopping him at the 30-yard line. Dallas Rosevi, number 27, made the tackle. He's also the holder.
He's, you know, Dallas.
Lamley.
Yeah, Dallas Rosevi did make a nice special teams tackle there, and he was my backup in Saskatchewan for a number of years. He wore number 20 there. And I told him when he got over here, I said, what, you wanted to get the number of your hero?
So he's wearing 27. I guess that one is on the Rider Hall of Fame. Back there in Saskatchewan.
Not quite.
Stewart for close to 5 yards on first down. Seems to me they didn't even hold it back. Wasn't somebody wearing 27 last year?
Yeah, Robert Mims got it right away.
Yes. He left an indelible impression there in Saskatchewan.
Well, Stu Laird got his, in Calgary, got his jersey retired while he was still playing. And since Robert Mims has mine, I'm pretty sure that mine will stay in the locker room.
On second down, markers are down, and Dunnigan is on target. It'll be a first down. To Jason Phillips. We'll check the infraction first. Chris Zangaris was back in coverage. 13 yards the gain. And the penalty going against Ottawa.
Pass is complete. You got first down yardage.
Discussing the options to Matt Dunnigan, but he'll take the play. If it's an offside penalty, that's only 5 yards, and he'll take the 13-yard gain instead of that and decline it.
Offside, Ottawa number 98. Illegal contact on an eligible receiver, Ottawa number 94. Both penalties are declined. First down.
Well, Zangaris was offside.
Ball here, okay?
And here's the second infraction.
See Zangaris right there just pulling down the tackle. I didn't see the penalty on that play.
Long takes the pass from Dunnigan, sliding out of the backfield. It doesn't work well. There's no gain. Jason Jacobitz, number 20. Former Blue Bomber who was out for all of the 95 season with a broken leg.
94 was the illegal call.
Jacobitz on the tackle for a 2-yard loss.
He had a broken leg when he was with the Rough Riders last year. Didn't get a lot of time to play, and he's earned that starting position from Dallas Rosevi this year.
Second and 12. Not quite. Marcus Grant couldn't bring it down. Jacobitz was around him, but actual coverage supplied by Joe Miro there.
Well, Marcus Grant had to catch that ball on the first try, or Jason Jacobitz was going to put the hammer on him, because he knows it too. Here he comes over the middle. He's got to catch it now or get his head down and get down in that turf, because here comes number 20 ready to tattoo him. You go over the middle like that, you got to catch it first down. First time, you start bobbling it, and that's when you get labeled.
Osbaldiston from his 30. One play. Steve Clay waiting for Ottawa. This time he'll have a play. Tries to find room to the outside. And there wasn't much. A 53-yard boomer from Osbaldiston. The return is only a yard.
If you like action,
Welcome to the Johnny Bauer exhibit.
you'll love the Hockey Hall of Fame. It's fun, it's surprising, it's interactive. The Hockey Hall of Fame. It's so much fun, you won't know what hit you.
Calvin Tiggle used to patrol the middle for the Toronto Argonauts.
Well, last year he had a little bit of back problems, and he only actually played in 13 games. During the 95 season with the Argos, he had 69 tackles and a couple of sacks, even though he only played in 13. I mean, this guy's legitimate. I mean, he can play the middle. He's one of those run-stopping linebackers.
Ottawa Rough Riders on first down begin at the 12-yard line. Archer gets rid of it in a hurry and has Bill Hess, who hangs on despite coverage from Brett Young. Young, one of the best halfbacks in the CFL, according to his coach, Don Southern. Jermaine Chaney, as the hurry-up offense is in, and Chaney will have the first down.
Let's go, Jacques. Quick out. Quick-o here. Quick-o.
Tom Gerhardt on the tackle. So Archer's moving things along here quickly. 8 yards for Chaney. And Archer has the Rough Riders out from the shadow of the goalpost. Over the middle to Kelvin Means. Means breaks one. He's out across midfield, has one man to beat, and he's grabbed from behind by Gerhardt, number 45.
Wow, this whole play starts with a tremendous job by David Archer to go to his third and fourth receiver in the read. He went to the right side of the field. He couldn't find anybody. You're going to see him look over to the right here. He's going to dump it to the back. He doesn't like that. He goes back over the middle, sort of sidearms it to Kelvin Means, and then Kelvin Means breaks 2 tackles to make the big play.
Archer, hurry up again, and on target again.
Oh, what a catch.
Steve Clay at the 25. There is a marker down. Again, Brett Young on the tackle.
Well, it's quite a battle between the little Steve Clay at only 5'5" and Brett Young. He's only at 5'10", so that's a little bit better matchup than when Clay was out there with Don Robinson. Brett Young is going to have to cover him. Here's the penalty.
Offside, Ottawa number 2. Repeat first down.
So Clay got the quick start.
No wonder I was open, he's saying. I caught him off guard.
He'll be first and 15. Rough Riders began this drive back at the 12. They're approaching the 40-yard line of the Tiger Cats. Chaney breaks one, and he's back to the original line of scrimmage, plus a yard. Joe Montford made the tackle.
Another flag down, and it's going to be holding. I think it was Mike Jovanovic on Mike Campbell. The referee saw it all the way.
Holding, Ottawa number 51. Repeat first down.
Okay, I apologize to Jovanovic, and it was
Robert Stevenson, a newcomer. I wonder if his middle name is Louis.
It should be Bubba. Look at the size of him. That's a big man. He weighs in at 290. I don't think he's 290. I think that was look at the size of that guy's arms. I mean, that's 100 pounds apiece.
First and 25 facing Archer now. And it'll be first and a little more. Looks like a time count violation.
Well, David Archer is not happy.
Number 18.
And he's not happy because when there's a penalty called, he feels like he should have the clock reset and have the full time in the huddle. And there's no excuse once that clock is stopped for getting the time count violation. And Jim Gilstrap has to work it out with Archer, get those plays in quicker. And if Archer's calling up, he has to get them called, get everyone set up, and get on the line of scrimmage, especially after a stoppage of play.
Now first and 30. come the Tiger Cats. Archer does buy a little time. Bill Hess makes the catch. The gain is only about 4 yards, and Tom Gerhardt's having a pretty nice game for the Tiger Cats, number 45.
Well, Tom Gerhardt is the sort of the Darryl Hall. He's the Calgary version of what Tom Gerhardt's. He's a DB. He's called a tweener. 6'1", 200 pounds, can play that linebacker position when it comes to the run, but can also cover.
Second and way too many. Archer away from the first. He has Means, and Means comes up short of the first down and then lost the ball.
Was he down or not?
It's not going to matter as far as a first down is concerned, but possession would be nice. It's in field goal territory now.
Well, he definitely made the catch. I think the question here is whether or not he fumbled the ball or the ground made him fumble. The ground cannot make you fumble. Calvin's just saying, okay, now I caught that one, and that's the first down. But he doesn't realize that even if he did get the catch, he's short.
Third down. They just made their mind up, George. They just made their mind up.
Indication is third down.
Take some time to talk about it. Third down.
So Jin Gilstrap looks at this.
Well, again, a nice job by Archer to buy some more time. You see him juggle. Kelvin Means juggles the ball. He goes down to the turf. He is absolutely down. The turf cannot make you fumble. Good call by George Black.
Nice little 23-yard gain leaves Ottawa short by 3 yards. And that means Wayne Lamley into the ball game with Savvy to hold. He'll spot it down at the 39. Lamley kicked very well after joining Ottawa last year. He had troubles in Toronto. And he's 1 for 1 here tonight. Back into a tie ball game.
A little hot.
12-12.
Well, David Archer, even though he'll take the 3 points and tie this football game up, he's a little disappointed with himself, and you can see it in his face because he had a tremendous drive going. He had some momentum back, and he really felt, I mean, when you're in that kind of groove, you feel like you can go in and get the 7 points, but he'll take the 3.
Yeah, we're going right away.
Steve Clay was offside, and he had a first down. That was when the string of penalties started against Ottawa. He had a first down just outside the 20-yard line, and all of a sudden, Archer was facing 1st and 30. Now Dunnigan on first down for the Tiger Cats. He has time and a man open. Great catch, Marcus Grant. Wrestled it away from Leonard Humphreys.
Well, it was a tremendous catch by Marcus Grant. Dunnigan's just going to throw it up there. Leonard Humphreys is in the deep outside third zone. He drops back in that zone, and there goes Marcus Grant down the sideline. Now, the ball is in the air. Humphreys is trying to make up the ground that he's lost, and as he does that, Marcus Grant cuts underneath and goes and plays that football.
A 50-yard gain for the Tiger Cats. First down at the 25 of Ottawa. Dunnigan looks for the toss. Touchdown! Marcus Grant, back-to-back catches. He takes it almost the whole length of the field. Dunnigan down, and so is a marker, so we'll check the infraction.
Well, there was no one.
Hamilton number 54. Repeat first down.
We'll bring this one back.
Lane Schmidt got nailed on the holding. Matt Dunnigan hit the turf. He just wanted to get that ball away because there was no one within 30 yards. Here's Blaine Schmidt right now. He's the guilty party. He's the guilty party on the play, and he will get called on the offside, and it delegates a touchdown. He's going to pull on the back right there, Lloyd Lewis.
Dunnigan on 1st and 20. Look for Tony Stewart just to get rid of the football. Well, it'll be 2nd and 20 now.
Well, Don Southern is saying we had a gift there that was called back from a holding call because Marcus Grant was wide open in the end zone. There was a miscue in Ottawa's defense. Dunnigan saw it. All for naught.
Blaine Schmidt, the ex-Argo. Tie-cat for a couple of seasons. 2nd and 20. Here's Dunnigan. Looks for the home run toss again. Not quite. Jason Phillips. And there's another marker down.
That's in that same area. Lubo Zizakovic put the hit on Dunnigan. And this one looks like it's going against Ottawa.
Offside, Ottawa number 45. Repeat second down.
Nick Richards, a reserve linebacker for Ottawa, played 13 games in his rookie season. He's out of Acadia. So now it is 2nd and 15. Lots of penalties in the second quarter. 12-12 to score. Dunnigan with 4 receivers to the far side. Looks over the middle. This time he has Phillips. Phillips is short of the first down.
Wow, I want to hope that the Ottawa Rough Riding defensive coaches are not asking Ray Bernard to run with Jason Phillips. He's the guy who came across the middle and made the tackle on Phillips. And Ray Bernard cannot be asked to cover a speed receiver in Phillips throughout this football game. You're going to see it as it comes right across the middle of your screen. Ray Bernard's number 94 at the bottom. He's chasing Phillips across the middle of the field, and he cannot do that all game.
2:56 till halftime. Tie ball game. 3rd down. And a long yard to go as Dunnigan shuffles it off for Stewart. He turns the corner and is across the 15-yard line. Well, Peter slowed him down, and we'll see where they spot the ball.
It all comes down to the spot. I don't think they got it.
George, you got to measure.
Well, Miles Gorell down there is saying we've got it. The Ottawa Rough Riders are changing teams down there. We'll let you know if it's 1st and 10 and which way when we return. Sometimes gambling doesn't pay off, and Eric Jeter shows you why right here. It was 3rd and 1 for the Tiger Cats.
Well, Eric Jeter does a nice job. This is Jeter's man right here, so he has come down to this position just to the left of your screen, and that's where he'll come up and make the tackle from. His man's gone away, so he comes up and fills, and what a super job he does in filling, holding Tony Stewart short of the first down.
So another drive stalls for the Tiger Cats, and Jeter the man of the moment for the Ottawa Rough Riders. It was 3rd and a long yard to go. Don Southern decided to go gambling. Tony Stewart couldn't quite grab the 1.5 yards necessary, so this drive is over, and David Archer gets it back.
A lot of people say it doesn't really hurt him because of the field position that Archer has right now, but hey, that's 3 points that just got away from you.
And it's 3 yards better than what Archer had the last time he had his hands on the ball. Play action on first down. Archer has it picked off by Robinson. Don Robinson has a lane down the sidelines. He's stopped at about the 9. I don't know what happened to Steve Clay. He stopped running. He was the intended receiver, and there's a gift for Robinson. No one in the area.
Well, I'll tell you what happened. Steve Clay went down and ran. He pushed Robinson deep on the go route, and then he stopped up. But when he stopped up, the ball was already thrown. He didn't have a chance to jump for it, and because it went up over his head, Robinson comes up with the interception. Now you see, Archer's going to pump fake him deep, and then he goes down to the curl route. He overthrows the ball. Steve Clay doesn't have a chance to get up and jump to try and get a hand on it. Robinson does. He sees it clearly. Comes up with a one-handed grab, I might add.
Robinson, a couple of interceptions last season. 27-yard return right there, setting the Ticats up. 1st and goal to go. At the Ottawa 7, big at the 8-yard line. Dunnigan. Look for Jason Phillips. Joe Miro knocked it away.
Joe Miro did a super job. Now he's in there trying to cover Jason Phillips, and Jason Phillips runs what's called the speed out. Dunnigan's going to throw it on time to the out, and usually you have a little bit of separation there no matter how good of a DB you are, but the rule of thumb is, number 1, try and make the interception. If you can't do that, make the tackle, try and go for the strip. Merrill takes the strip and makes a great play.
Bert Thornton splits to the far side. Marcus Grant, the wide receiver, near side of the field. Dunnigan looking at 2nd and goal. At the 8, he has time. Matter of fact, lots of time. Now the charge comes. Dunnigan can't get away. He'll eat this one. Lumos is a Kovic.
Yeah, but the play was made by Jeff Cummins. Dunnigan had some room to run if he could get outside to the right, and you're going to see a great job by Jeff Cummins to keep him in the pocket. You see Dunnigan, he's going to roll to his right. Now, he takes off. and peels back to his right. Now here comes Cummings. See him cut him off? Lubo Zizakovic comes underneath. He cleans up with the sack, but Jeff Cummings made the play.
17 yards to loss. It'll be 3rd down, and Osbaldiston is in.
I'll be back.
Osbaldiston made his first attempt from 20 yards.
You know, Cummings just mentioned to Lubo Zizakovic. Do I get credit for that? Do I get any credit in the stats?
And Ozzie is 2 for 2 as the Ticats jump into a 3-point lead. It's 15-12. Hamilton leading Ottawa. Many thought it would be a lot easier for the Tiger Cats on home turf tonight.
The Ottawa Rough Riders did a super job of just rising to the occasion. You know, when you come out on the defensive side of the ball after a big turnover like Don Robinson got for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, you just want to hold the team to a field goal. That is a victory for the Ottawa Rough Riders. And you see Cummings now, he's going to go straight over to Lubo Zizakovic and just say, now wait a minute, now I got the sack, I'll call the league office and maybe we can share it because I saw you go up there and keep Dunnigan in the pocket for me.
Archer on 1st down, beginning at the 35. Swings it back as Cheney. Joe Montford on the tackle. Joe's been a solid addition to the Rider defense.
And he just made a super play because Cheney had some blocking in front of him, but Joe Montford just hurdled one of the would-be blockers. I didn't get the number of the blocker, but he just hurdled him and made a super play.
2nd and 10. Archer over the middle. Rogers reverses. He'll have the 1st down out of the 50. Big play by Joseph Rogers.
Rookie from Texas Southern is making his mark in his first game in the CFL with the Ottawa Rough Riders. Had the big touchdown earlier in the game when he sprinted 90 yards, and now he's making some nice moves on that play.
15 yards the game for Joseph Rogers. He was in the Atlanta camp for 2 years, released after the 95 preseason, and had 4 receptions for 76 yards in the preseason.
Not a big guy. He's much like the other slot back for the Ottawa Rough Riders, Steve Clay, who's 5'5", 160. Joseph Rogers is only 5'9", 165. There's Clay right there. So there's going to be, you know, if these two have success throughout this year, there's going to be a nickname in there somewhere.
I would think you're right. Why don't you come up with it?
Well, we'll work on that and try and have one for the second half.
It's tough to beat a nickname like Pup, though.
Now the pressure's on. Maybe we'll go to the panel back in Toronto and see if we can get some help from them. Mike Philbrick is injured. Looks like he's popped his knuckle out or something. They'll just, you know what they do to those? They dislocate the hand and the knuckle, the finger's all pointing in the wrong direction. They just pull it out, put it back in position.
And it doesn't hurt at all. On 1st down, here's Clay bouncing up one tackle, and he's away inside the 45-yard line to about the 42. So a couple of sloppy tackles. That was Tingle making the tackle after Robinson missed.
And Tingle comes all the way from the middle, and the advantage of being 5'5" is that it's hard to grab when you're that little. And Steve Clay took full advantage of it.
Score through. 1st and 10. Set up at the Ticat 44, low snap to Archer on the shotgun, but he gets it away for Cheney. Cheney got one block, and it's Tingle again on the far side of the field to make the tackle this time at the 35. Pretty nice little march in the hurry up with 1:07 to go till halftime as Archer has another 9.
And this is David Archer at his best. I mean, here's the experienced quarterback coming in, running the hurry up offense, responding to the Hamilton score.
On 2nd down, one fake. Archer looking for Clay, and a little miscommunication. Clay broke inside. Yeah, you're exactly right. He went inside, and Archer went to the corner pattern.
Well, they were running the same sort of pattern that was intercepted by Don Robinson, where he came into the curl, but this time he pump faked the curl and took off. But Clay went to the post pattern. Archer thought he was going deep down the sideline and just overthrew it.
So on 3rd down and 2, Lamley is in. There's no decision to be made here with 55 seconds remaining till halftime. Take the 3 points. Hope you can hang on for a tie at halftime. Familiar number 27 puts it down. Lamley is wide. picked up by the Tiger Cats. Fortunate right there. I'm not sure who recovered.
I think it was Joe Mumford. And talk about getting that Hamilton bounce. Two hops and right into his hand, yeah. Rogers is down on the play. He took it out of the end zone. I'm not sure who got the hand on and put the hit on Rogers. Looks like it's his wind. Usually when you're crouched over that like that, you're trying to get your wind. Here's the play. Looked like it might have been Lloyd Lewis in there. Got his hand on it, stripped the ball out. And the one hop comes up.
Might have been Lee Knight on the hit there.
Well,
Number 28, I think it was Lee Knight.
It was Lee Knight. He's happy to make a play for his team, even though it bounced right back to Hamilton, because, of course, Lee Knight was a Hamilton Tiger Cat last year.
And make sure you join us in just a few moments for our Corral halftime. We'll preview the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and the Calgary Stampeders. Then it's the fearless threesome, Leaf, Les, and Marty. They'll give us their predictions and prognostications. John and Glenn will join us for their first half-thoughts.
Well, there's nothing like catching a football game at Ivor Wynne Stadium in person. Catch the excitement of Tiger Cat football at 7 p.m. on Sunday, July 14th, when the Saskatchewan Roughriders come to town. To reserve your seat for the greatest show on turf, call 527-1508 or 1-800-714-ROAR. First and 10, Tiger Cats. Dunnigan to his left, and open. It'll be a first down. Marcus Grant.
Well, Dunnigan spreads all his receivers to the left side of the field, and he sends 2 of the 3 deep. He sends Matt Cody and Jason Phillips deep. That stretches the defense. The Ottawa defense had to play way off, and Marcus Grant was allowed to turn that out pattern underneath and catch the gain.
The gain is 23 yards. The clock shows 40 seconds till halftime. First and 10, Tiger Cats out at the 39 now. Stewart, he'll have a lot of yardage and plenty for the first down.
And their super back led the league in TDs in 1994 with 14, and boy, Hamilton's sure happy to have him. You know, that one back in this kind of offense is asked to do so many things. Run the ball occasionally. Well, seldomly.
Seldom.
But he wants to catch that ball out of the backfield. That was a little screen pass, and then do what you can with it. And there's his statistics last year with the Calgary Stampeders. Now, part of the reason that he was let go by Calgary was he supposedly fumbles too much. But I looked it up in the stats. 5 of 8 fumbles he lost. But I looked it up in the stats. Mike Pringle and Corey Philpott were 1 and 2 in the league last year. And guess what? They fumbled 8. They fumbled 8 times each, lost 5. So I don't know if that's a whole lot of fumbles. I mean, you're taking the ball, you're running back, you're gonna cough it up every now and then.
Well, the deal was for Kalen Hall, who played in Hamilton last year, but Don Southern wanted Stewart too for his ability to catch the football. As you say, they call him the super back. He's supposedly the only guy who's going to run the football, but Ticats look at a play like that previous one is almost like a running play, don't they?
Well, basically is.
Slides it out.
Absolutely. The little dump passes or the little underneath passes, screen passes. To Matt Dunnigan in this offensive scheme, those are running plays. You see big Dwayne Morgan down there. Looks like he's caught a cramp. He's the only rookie in that offensive line for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and he weighs in at 6'4", 305. I think they're...
I think he's more. I think he's 308 anyway.
I think they're lying about these stats in the weight. There tells the story. Passes 263 yards, and you're rushing 9. I asked Matt Dunnigan how many times he's going to rush the ball and how many times he was going to have 2 backs in the backfield. He told me if it was my choice, it'd be 0.
Now, Ted Long did credit for a running play earlier, and he's technically a receiving back. Anyway, Morgan to the sidelines, and the Ticats look at 33 seconds on the board till halftime. And a first and 10 at the Ottawa 51. 36-yard line. Stopped there by Eric Jeter, number 17. And Dwayne Knight, number 44, a 15-yard gain.
Well, the Ottawa Rough Riders better start being a little more careful, a little more aggressive on defense. What happens when you get down to about 40 seconds left and a half is defensively you don't want to give up the big play, so you start playing soft. Dunnigan, with his speed in the receiving core, is going to take exactly what they're giving him, dump it off, and then let those speed guys get the yardage on their own. And now they're a play away from field goal position, and with 25 seconds left, they have lots of time to score a touchdown.
Rough Riders have called a timeout with 25 seconds on the clock. 15-12 is the score at Ivor Wynne. Don Southern won't be all that pleased with some of what transpired in the first half. Offensively, Dunnigan started off well, and the offense sputtered for 2 or 3 sequences. It really hasn't been able to dominate the Ticat offense as we expected it might.
Well, you know, I don't know that Don Southern had expectations of domination. I think that was more of the media in the city talking about, with the talent they have, that they should be dominating. But he knows as a coach with the new group in there, it's going to take some time to gel.
25 seconds till halftime. Dunnigan back to throw. He's got Marcus Grant sliding inside the 50.
Well, Marcus Grant comes back to his quarterback and helps him out because he had the straight post pattern. He's going to be covered by Joe Merrow. Now, see, he's going to run to the post, and he's looking for a touchdown. Dunnigan throws it low and inside, and Marcus Grant has to come back and pull it off the turf.
23-yard gain as Dunnigan looks to the end zone with 12 seconds on the clock. Can he get there with Stewart? Not on this play. 9 seconds remain.
Well, now the decision comes.
Yeah, I think you kick for 3.
Timeout.
Can you get a play in 9 seconds? I think that's plenty of time to run another play and still kick a field goal if it's incomplete. Now, Tony Stewart is down on the field, and I don't know if this is one of those injury wink, wink, nudge, nudge timeouts.
No, they called timeout.
Or if this is a real injury.
Yeah.
No, Hamilton has called timeout.
Hamilton called timeout. Ottawa timeout on the previous play, so.
Okay.
It wasn't a wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Well, hopefully Tony Stewart, for Hamilton fans, isn't too badly injured over there.
Was that a 605 5F special?
Well, those were the choices, 605 or 5S special. Now, I don't know the terminology for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, but I'm going to take a wild guess here. I'm going to say that 605 is some kind of all-curl pattern, usually 5 in the passing tree, which is just explaining the patterns in a playbook. 5 is usually a curl. And I would say that 5S special is something to the fullback. Now, with Tony Stewart, their superback out, they're going with the 605. So let's see.
That means Brian Walling is in with 9 seconds till halftime. Hamilton on top by 3 and looking to add to that total. Dunnigan looks for it all and fired it long. Looking for Bert Thornton.
Okay, mental note, 605 is a go route.
Have you written that down?
I got it written down. The next time they call on the sideline, it will happen.
So they got the play in after the timeout. 5 seconds on the clock, and here comes the field goal unit. Ticats look to go to the dressing room with a 6-point lead.
Well, it was a good
halftime.
It was a good call, John, to throw that fade route. You drop back 3 steps, throw it up there. If your receiver comes up with the catch, you got the touchdown. If not, you've only killed a couple of seconds.
Dunnigan is tossed for over 300 yards in the opening half. Osbaldiston has another field goal, and the Ticats have a 6-point lead heading to the dressing room at halftime. Tony Stewart shaken up, and perhaps we can figure out what happened to the superback for the Tiger Cats.
Get him back now. 30.
Well, here he is working out into the flat with that football, and you see Jeff Cummins come in late. It looks like he got the knee to knee. And those are one of the worst bruises you can get. You know, Jeff Cummins, fairness to him, he's not sure if that ball's down the way Tony Stewart can run it, so he's coming in there to get involved, and I think they just hit knee to knee, and Stewart probably has a bit of a thigh bruise.
Time for one play. It's 2 seconds on the clock. Archer is in. Looks like he'll regroup after giving up here. Ran the clock down. So the Ottawa Rough Riders down to the Ticats by 6. Don Southern might have a little something to say in the dressing room at halftime.
Hey, not a bad showing for a team that the whole country thought should be blown out by this point. I think Ottawa's playing pretty well, and David Archer's doing a good job leading that football team.
He is the key to the Ottawa Rough Riders' success in '96. There is absolutely no doubt about it. Stay with us. Lots more ahead at the half from CFL Control.
CFL Live at the half. Brought to you by Corel, world leader in CD-ROM technology.
And welcome to our halftime show. You know what, guys? We were talking about this football game, and we were talking about the Ottawa Rough Riders. We did it at the quarter. Let's do it at the half. Only 6 points separate these two teams. Last year, Ottawa didn't win a single game on the road, but they're very much in this football game, Les.
I'll tell you, Ottawa's playing extremely well. They stayed in the game, and I tell you why they stayed in the game is because of their defense. Their defense has played really well. There'll be a lot of teams that are going to play up against Hamilton and know that they have a high-powered offense and be looking at this Ottawa film to see what they did to shut them down.
But, guys, isn't it easier for your defense to adjust to the Hamilton attack because they've only rushed the ball for 9 yards in this first half? Tony Stewart's now injured. We don't know if he's going to return to the game. Leaf, does that make it a lot easier for your defense?
Well, I'm not so sure. I mean, your defensive linemen do a lot of pass rushing, and that may take its toll. And, you know, I'd like to comment what Les says about the defense for Ottawa. They have played well, but you know what's scary to me? Ottawa clearly has made all the big plays in the first half. You got Joseph Rogers, 90-yard TD. You've got stopping Hamilton on a third down gamble. You get the Hamilton with an interception, and Zizakovic comes up with the big sack. Clearly 3 huge plays, but they're down by 6 points. Right. I mean, here's a team making all the plays, and they trail, and can they do it for another half? That's the scary part.
And how frustrating is it to get into that red zone and, first of all, not be able to punch it into the end zone, but then you've got a cheap, short field goal, and Lamley doesn't come through. Could have tied the football game. I mean, that's a tough situation.
Yeah, you're right.
We talked about David Archer, and you said that he was not going to last this season this year, that he'd be sacked a lot. Well, they gave up 56 sacks last year, and we saw Archer bounce out of the pocket a little bit, but I thought the offensive line did a pretty good job in protecting him in that first half. He really never got dropped.
You're right. I think that the Ottawa offensive line did a better job than the Hamilton offensive line. Dunnigan was running around for his life out there. The other thing about Dunnigan is I'm wondering if he may be a little hurt. I heard rumblings during the course of the week that he wasn't 100%, and for Matt Dunnigan not to be 100% is nothing new. But I also think he must be disappointed with this first half. He's fiercely determined to prove that he is better than Doug Flutie this year. And, you know, so far he's been average.
Well, I think it's the competitive nature between the two quarterbacks. Doug Flutie wants to be the best in the Canadian Football League, and he's been all of that. And Matt Dunnigan's out east now, and it's a great rivalry, and I think we, the fans, are the winners.
I think that makes you, though, at the top of your game when you have to compete against somebody else, and that you want to compete against somebody else. I think that makes you a winner.
Well, I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret, because the truth of the matter is that Matt Dunnigan doesn't like Doug Flutie very much. It goes beyond
here
the
he goes
spirit.
again.
It's a fact. It's
like
fact.
All you have to do,
come on. It's fact.
Here it goes again. Last week, what is it? They don't like Doug Flutie in Calgary. They're happy to see him go. Now,
I want the entire country to know that Doug Flutie is a great player, but he might not be the most popular guy in the world. It's the truth.
So, is it the competitiveness between the two teams? I would imagine that there's a certain amount of respect between these two players, these two individuals. When they met in exhibition play earlier this year, as soon as the football game was over, Dunnigan and Flutie, they were standing side by side talking.
You see, Marty, but they're in the game. That's what Dunnigan does to you. He says, you know, I can get this guy to write these things, you know, and think this, that, you know, we've got the big hate for each other. Maybe do it. He's selling himself all the time, and he wants to be number one. Who can blame him? He's a terrific football player.
I agree.
He wants to be known as the best quarterback in the CFL, and every once in a while, he does some political things to make you think, well, they don't like each other, and this and that. That's a game he's playing with you.
Let me throw a question at you, Leaf and Les. Who's a better quarterback?
Doug Flutie.
I take Doug Flutie right now, too.
If
you put me on the spot, then I'll go with Les on that one, too. Flutie, if I had a big game to play right now, and I know Doug struggled in the Grey Cup last year.
I don't believe that popularity is the thing here. Popularity doesn't get you anything. Like you say, I believe that that Garcia is an excellent guy, probably an excellent guy to get along with in the locker room or whatever. Right. And he's a good quarterback. You don't want to take nothing away from him for that either. But Doug Flutie has proven himself year in and year out. We don't have to even go there about who's the best because this man has proven himself as being the best. His stats speak for him louder than anything.
As has Matt Dunnigan's statistics. And I don't know if you really want to compare the two. It's obvious because they're both in the Eastern Conference, and it will happen, and their numbers will bear it out at the end of the season. And it'll happen we'll see what happens in the Eastern Final.
But people should not miss this game whatsoever that's going to come up next week, or anytime that Hamilton and Toronto matches up against one another. Everybody should be out there.
Okay, guys, what we have to do is take a break, and when we come back, we will talk about Jeff Garcia and the Calgary Stampeders. They're in action as they'll take on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers tomorrow. As we go to break, there are the current standings in tonight's QB1 battle.
CFL Legends, brought to you by Corel. He was one of the most feared defensive players in CFL history. More on Angelo Mosca in a moment.
If you want full office suite power at a word processor price, look no further than Corel WordPerfect Suite. Corel WordPerfect Suite includes an exceptionally intelligent word processor, an award-winning spreadsheet, amazing presentation graphics, plus business graphics and utilities, hundreds of fonts and thousands of clip art images. Corel WordPerfect Suite delivers office suite power at a word processor price.
Over his 15-season CFL career, Angelo Mosca earned a reputation as one of the most respected defensive players ever. Aggressiveness and persistence were his trademarks. An Eastern All-Star 5 times, a CFL All-Star 3 times. Mosca played in 9 Grey Cup games, coming away a winner 5 times. Angelo Mosca, a true CFL legend. And you can see more on Mosca and other CFL legends at the Canadian Football Hall of Fame in Hamilton.
And you are watching the CFL Live on TSN. Welcome back to CFL Control in Toronto. We kicked off our season with the Calgary Stampeders and the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and the Stamps made it look relatively easy as they improved to 1-0 on the year. Tomorrow, they are home to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers as the Bombers make their debut. In game number 1, it was painfully evident that Calgary had the run and the pass both working. They feed off each other, and Jeff Garcia says that was the key to their success.
Me being young and with some inexperience on the offense, it definitely adds to the effectiveness and productivity to be able to run the ball on the ground. And anytime that we're able to establish a running game, it just is going to take that much more pressure off of me, and then we can let loose through the air.
Well, Garcia got the job done. 20 for 35, 435 yards, including a big bomb to Terry Vaughn, a couple of touchdowns, 1 interception. He looked very good in relief of Doug Flutie. Tomorrow, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers will try to win at home. You know what? It's been an anomaly. I know it's only week 1, but every road team has won so far. Can the Winnipeg Blue Bombers get the job done in Calgary? Les?
I don't see that happening. Not tomorrow. I mean, Calgary has a solid team. Winnipeg is still struggling with trying to find someone to run their helm. And I think Reggie Slack is starting out there for him tomorrow, and he's going to have a good battle against him. Calgary's defense has proven himself as being really tough. I don't see it happening tomorrow for him.
The Calgary Stampeders at home in McMahon, they're an awfully good football team. It's very difficult to go in there and pick up a victory. One thing that the Bombers have on their side, though, is they got Martin Patton, a very good running back. They've got a good ground game, so if the quarterback is struggling, they can rely on that.
Well, this team has a controversy early, though, Darren. I mean, Kent Austin is the 4th best passer in CFL history. So as a result, there are guys on that team who believe he should be starting ahead of Reggie Slack. Ken Austin has a contract that it stipulates that he doesn't get as much money if he's not starting. And I always wonder if Cal Murphy has money in the back of his mind.
Oh, not Cal. No, Cal Murphy would think about payroll before how we played a guy. Come on, I'll bet you that's definitely, if that's true what you're saying, there's no question that that would enter into some decision-making. He's done that in the past with guys with bonuses they haven't played because of that, and Cal's going to be upset when he hears me say that.
What do you mean if that's true?
Yeah,
It is true. It is true. What about the Winnipeg Blue Bombers? For years, they've always had great defenses. Last year, their defense was basically abysmal. They gave up some 36 points per game. It was the second worst in the Canadian Football League. I mean, have they improved their situation going into the season?
Well, it's tough. You know, Winnipeg's defense traditionally was based on great linebackers. You go back to the Tyrone Jones and West and all those, Greg Battle and those, and they really haven't replaced those players, so it remains to be seen. But the focal point of the defense hasn't changed over the years to compensate, to go with better guys up front, maybe to change to a 4-3 instead of a 3-4 defense, and we'll see what they can do this year. But it's been, they just haven't lived up to the linebackers they've had in the past.
Okay, gentlemen, we'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll head to Ivor Wynne. We'll get the first half thoughts from John and Glenn. Stay tuned.
The definition of radical: to depart from the norm, to stand up for what's important with courage and passion. The definition of Canadian, not American. It's time to stand up and get passionate about your country, its traditions, its future. One of these great traditions is football played the way it was meant to be, radically Canadian. The Canadian Football League. It's hard-hitting, it's longer, wider, faster football. Every game is an event, a party. More importantly, it's our game and we won't change it for anyone. The CFL, radically Canadian and proud of it. Now you too can be a radical Canadian by wearing radical hats, t-shirts, sweatshirts, and golf shirts, all from Starter Canada. Get radical from only $19.99. Call 1-800-545-5757. These items aren't available in any store. The only way you can get radical is to call now. Dare to be different. Get radical. Be Canadian. The Canadian Football League is radically Canadian. Call 1-800-545-5757 now.
Our next game is the Montreal Alouettes. Well, you talk about your tough places to win. Not only is McMahon tough in Alberta, forget it. Commonwealth Stadium, the Edmonton Eskimos, home to the Alouettes, will have it free on Friday, July the 5th at 9:30 Eastern Time. Pretty good half of football at Ivor Wynne Stadium. The Ottawa Rough Riders a lot closer than many people believe. For their thoughts, let's go back to John and Glenn.
We enjoyed it very much, Darren, but Glenn Sutter wants to vote for the best quarterback of the most recent era. Doesn't agree with the panel back there. You're taking Dunnigan, right?
I'm taking Dunnigan. First of all, the whole panel is just raving over Doug Flutie. And let me make a point here. I'm not against Doug Flutie. I mean, obviously, he's a great football player, but there's a couple of things that Dunnigan gives you that I think that Flutie hasn't really proven yet. First of all, Dunnigan, 14 seasons. Okay, that's longevity in the league.
Second all-time in passing, second in touchdowns.
And approaching both of those records. He's gonna probably break the touchdown record this season. The other thing that you always hear from the Dunnigan camps is his leadership ability. Now, Doug Flutie is still a leader. I'm not saying that he's not.
Yeah, he led pretty well last night.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. But Dunnigan, you know, you always hear this, so I'm going with Dunnigan.
And Dunnigan had a pretty good first half of football, 305 yards passing for Matt Dunnigan. Archer wasn't all that shabby either as we look at the stats brought to you by Subway. 230 yards, a little closer here than many anticipated. Ticats with a definite advantage in time of possession and one turnover each. So it could be an interesting second half. I like what Archer was able to do with the football a little later on in the first half.
Well, despite what the whole country thinks, we got a football game, and you know what? That's why they play them.
David Archer will try and even up against the Hamilton Tiger Cats and Matt Dunnigan as we get set for the second half on CFL Live with the Ticats leading by 6.
The Olympic spirit, to strive, to soar, to face any challenge. It means so much more in real life. That's why we created the Spirit of Canada Fund, to support programs that help develop, train, and show our children that in life, as in sport, anything is possible.
Brought to you by the world leader in Windows graphics software, Corel Print House is the fast and easy way for everyone to create great-looking greeting cards, stationery, banners, and more. Work with professionally designed samples or start your own creations from scratch. With Corel Print House, it's only a few easy steps to any printing project. Get creative. Get Corel Print House, the easy all-in-one graphics powerhouse exclusively for Microsoft Windows 95.
Captured live in the first half. Here's Matthew Dunnigan. On target more than once. That's Cody's touchdown. Standing in, and he has Phillips. He's a competitor. They always say that he's the quarterback in the linebacker's body.
And you know, we were talking about who's the best, Dunnigan or Doug Flutie, and you know, I go with Dunnigan, but I tell you what, you're talking about two awfully outstanding quarterbacks. I mean, give me either one of them to start my team or to build a franchise around.
Well, yeah, absolutely, but you know what? It's going to be a terrific showdown between those two down the Queen Elizabeth Highway in southern Ontario. And David Archer, despite the fact that the Ottawa Rough Riders are trying to get things together, had a pretty good first half overall, I thought. Managed to engineer one touchdown, get in position to score a couple of field goals, and the Ottawa Rough Riders aren't out of it yet.
They did have a good first half. The only thing I would say from, you know, taking a look at that first half and kind of analyzing the offense for Hamilton is that, don't you get the feeling that they're just about ready to explode for a couple of big ones?
A couple of times, and I mean, they almost came up with a touchdown on the last drive. Dunnigan almost got to the end zone on the last drive.
The key is here now, if Ottawa gets the same feeling and can make some adjustments defensively, then they'll be okay.
They haven't told me yet. I don't know.
Osbaldiston set to get the second half underway.
No, go ahead.
The veteran Tiger Cat, now in his 11th season, the all-time scoring king of Hamilton football. Deep for the kickoff, Clay and Means. This goes between them. This is Kelvin Means now. Got one block, but not much room to the outside. Maybe it was an illegal one. Flags are down as Brett Young made the stop.
Yeah, I believe Steve Clay is going to get called on the holding on the kickoff return. You see the distribution. Get right after the call here. We'll take a look at the distribution for David Archer, where he's throwing the football.
Major foul, face mask, Hamilton number 29. First down.
It's Dean Noel, special teams player in 13 games in 95 for Ottawa. Led the Tiger Cats in special teams tackles with 17 last year. David Archer has spread it around pretty well.
Yeah, here's the distribution. He's spread it around the field, and that's a sign of an experienced quarterback. Don't give the defense any reads.
Jermaine Cheney. Jermaine Younger on the tackle. Younger is an ex-Argo who was suspended from the Argos after a slight altercation there a while back. 1 yard the gain for Jermaine Cheney, who really hasn't been running out of this halfback spot for much of the preseason. 2nd and 9, Ottawa. Archer looks to the right side, and Bill Hess couldn't come up with it.
Well, David Archer's likely pointing at himself, and Bill Hess, and there he goes right there as he runs off the field, because he knows that Bill Hess ran the nice out pattern, found the hole in the zone, sat down perfectly for him, and he just overthrew the ball.
They were together as Texans in 1995.
Hooked up for 736 yards between the two of them, 4 touchdowns, and Hess had a good playoff, too. He completed 6 of 89 yards in the playoffs, and a touchdown for Bill Hess. So I know that Archer will be looking for him throughout this game.
Lamley at his 20 on a 3rd down Ottawa kicking situation. Wobbly and high, bouncing for Sam Rogers and over his head. I'm not sure if he touched it. I think he did. Rogers has to go and get it. Now, who touched it last going out of bounds?
I believe they're going to give it to Hamilton. It looks like Sam Rogers did touch it before it went out of the bounds, but I believe he touched it on that first bounce when it went over his head, so that was a live ball.
It's just a whole thing. We got a guy here in the damn hole. What do they do?
Uh-oh.
Looks looks like the Ottawa Rough Riders might have touched it going out of bounds. There was some confusion down there. You'll see it on the replay. Actually, Rogers does touch it going by right here, making it a live ball.
Well, here's the first bounce. It goes up and over his head.
Well, maybe.
Well,
no, maybe not.
Well, he didn't touch it that time.
Let's go.
Now it looks like
now he's touched it there.
Now there he kicks it, but he kicks it out of bounds. And if you kick it out of bounds, it goes to the other team.
There you go.
So that's the ruling. Now the question is, when he touched the ball, was Ottawa in the 5-yard zone? Because if they were, it should be a 5-yard penalty in Hamilton's football.
He kicked the ball out of bounds?
But obviously they think that Rogers touched it on that first bounce, which clearly from the replay he did not.
So look what the Ottawa Rough Riders have right now. First down. After the quick turnover, 1st and 10 at the 10 as Archer goes to work, looks to the corner. Can't connect with Steve Clay.
Well, Don Robinson's had a super game covering over there on Steve Clay. He's really filled the shoes of Eric Carter. And that was basically what they call, they want to run the fade route down the sideline and just stop it up. And David Archer is going to throw it right to the back of Steve Clay. And Don Robinson's not going to get a chance to turn around, but that time he did and knocked it out of there.
Part of the Vegas dispersal draft. Arrival in Hamilton in 1995, playing extremely well, according to Don Sutton. 2nd and 10. Archer and the Rough Riders. Time, same corner. And the same combination down there as Don Robinson got in front of it again and tipped it away.
Well, that's an interception, about 3 or 4 knockdowns for Don Robinson, and he shuts the door on David Archer and the Ottawa Rough Riders.
They'll be disappointed. Somehow you have to score after a turnover goes this.
See, Hess is trying to get the push by. Now, he's going to try and use his hands to push Don Robinson past, but Robinson does a good job of, when you get pushed, you grab. He grabs, comes back to the ball.
Lamley will have it spotted at the 12. Chip shot and through. It's a 3-point ball game as the Rough Riders get 3 from the turnover that will be looked at rather closely by the Hamilton Tiger Cats when they review the films tomorrow. 18-15, Hamilton on top. Up live with us in the booth, Doug Flutie, quarterback of the Toronto Argonauts. Congratulations on the win last night. It was a hard-fought battle.
It was a big one for us, and we had a lot of guys show a lot of character down the wire, make some big plays for us to win it.
I said to your coach, Don Matthews, that you might have been a little bit lucky on that touchdown toss, and he says, no, that's Flutie.
Well, I was definitely aiming for Mazzotti, and then all of a sudden Jimmy got into the picture, and my first reaction was, don't touch it. And then I was like, oh, the heck with it, grab it, Jimmy, grab it, and then went through his hands.
Look at the numbers on these quarterbacks.
Unbelievable, unbelievable. Matt puts the ball up down the field. He's always throwing for big numbers. Dave's having a good night, and I think a lot of people might be surprised that Ottawa's this close right now.
Does this make everybody better in the Eastern Division this year? I mean, there's going to be a heck of a quarterbacking race.
I think so. I think that a quarterback can make up for a lot of things, and right now there's some quality quarterbacks in the Eastern Division.
No doubt about that. Hang in for a second. We'll watch Dunnigan go to work here. Ticats on top, 18-15, 1st and 10. Hamilton. Dunnigan going back against the flow. He's got Jason Phillips, one big play earlier, and this guy scoots for another big gain for the Tiger Cats. Leonard Humphreys made the tackle, 30 yards for Dunnigan.
The play was sprung by Dale Sanderson. He hustles all the way from his center position. Dunnigan's going to roll a bit to his right, kind of a half roll, and then throw it back to the hitch to Phillips on the outside. But you're going to see big Miles Gurrell right there. It was actually Miles, not Dale, but Miles knocks down Joe Merrill, and he's the one that springs Phillips for the extra yardage.
Dunnigan on 1st down. Can't connect with Bert Thornton, and there's a marker down. Did you see the interference, Doug?
I don't know if it was interference or if it was a pick.
Tommy Henry was covering.
I guess they're marking it up there. It's going to be the interference.
You think the quarterback is always going to say that?
Hey, we run our share of picks.
It looked like a pick to me.
Forward pass interference. Ottawa number 6. 1st down.
Did a good job breaking on the ball, but I guess he got there a little early.
And I think Tommy Henry had his hand on the back of Bert Thornton there, and that's where he got called.
Doug, your coach seems awfully enthused about this team that he's put together. A lot of new faces to get together and meet us at Skydome.
Well, he was just talking to me about how he and the boys that he's brought over from Baltimore have won 14 in a row now. And he thinks we have a lot of talent. He obviously brought in a lot of defensive talent, including Kimmy Cofield. Offensively, Paul Mazzotti had a 100-yard game last night for us. Pinball and Drummond out of the backfield was just amazing. So we do have a lot of talent. And it's just a matter of how quickly we can really come together as a team.
How is that coming? I mean, all the quarterbacks in the league, no matter how experienced they are, I talk to them and they all say the same thing. With all the new people involved, that takes some time.
It's a new system, new terminology, guys getting used to reading coverages and adjusting routes the way you expect them to, and reading their body language, how they're going to come out of a break, how they're going to sit it down in the zone. And, you know, it takes a while, especially with, we have a couple of young guys that don't have a lot of game experience at receiver positions, and it's going to take a little while for those little fine points to fine-tune.
Richards heads to the sidelines. Injury timeout at Iverwin and Hamilton. We'll be back to the CFL Live with the Ticats on top, 18-15. Back live at Iverwin and Hamilton. Matt Dunnigan and the Tiger Cats looking at first down. Ball up to 35 of the Ottawa Rough Riders. Ticats on top, 18-15. Dunnigan well over 300 yards passing in the first half, and another 30 added on to that total at least here in the second half.
So, Doug, what do you call now? I mean, you're on the 35-yard line going in?
Get inside Dunnigan's helmet. Make the call here.
Crossing routes. Ottawa likes to go man on one side and zone on the other. Cross the guy from the zone side over to the man side.
Dunnigan goes deep. End zone toss. Not quite. Marcus Grant.
Or if you're Matt Dunnigan, just throw it over the top, baby.
You can't go wrong if you go long. I heard Matt Dunnigan say that one year, and that was basically the philosophy there. But Marcus Grant just took off down the sideline, and Dunnigan's just going to do it. He's just going to throw it up high, let his receiver run underneath it, and it looked like Grant had a step right there on Leonard Humphreys, but Humphreys catches up and just sticks that hand in there.
Looking at 2nd and 10. You want to try one more?
Matt's going for the end zone. The heck with this. Oh, he's isolating one-on-one weak side, or trying to.
4 receivers to the near side for Dunnigan.
There he is.
Across the middle, he'll have the first down. Marcus Grant, he ran past one. Steps out of bounds inside the 15.
Well, the quarterback called that one.
Humphreys again in the coverage, 21 yards to gain.
Quarterback called that one because all the receivers for Matt Dunnigan was to the outside, and just like Doug Flutie said, he's going to roll to his right and go back to the one-on-one matchup on the backside, and Marcus Grant's just going to take his time, work across the middle, make the catch for his quarterback after he hit the turf, and pick up the yardage. There's your 1 and 1.
Well, it's a little easier if you call it after you see the formation in the set.
Another first down for the Tiger Cats, and another injury timeout.
Doug, it might have been easier for you, but I remember playing safety against you, and it wasn't easy for me, even though I saw the formation in the center, to figure out what you were trying to do.
But the thing that amazes me is Matt rolls, and by pushing the pocket so wide, he hangs on the ball for a good 4 seconds there and allows the guy plenty of time to work and come across the field.
You're only 99 touchdowns behind Dunnigan.
Oh, we'll work on it. Tell Matt to retire, will you?
He doesn't look like he's ready to pack it in for a year or two.
Well, if you're a football fan in the Canadian Football League this year, you get to see 3 of the top, what was that, 7? Top 6 quarterbacks of all time. It's not bad.
Dunnigan and the Tiger Cats. 1st and 10 at the 14. Hamilton on top by 3. 3 receivers far side. Some early movement. No flags down. Dunnigan looks to his left. Man wide open. Jason Phillips. And he's tracked down at about the 11-yard line. Joe Miro doing a pretty good job in the secondary for Ottawa tonight.
Well, it looked to me like Ottawa is in a man-to-man defense, but they got crossed up when Phillips came underneath. So they did the smart thing, and Joe Miro and Tom Henry both took the deep guy. That left Phillips open underneath. They dump it off to him.
2nd and 7 at the Rough Riders 11. zone, tipped away. Willites got a hand on it. Maybe he thought he should have had the interception. That's what he's obviously saying to himself down there.
Well, you know, they say that knockdowns are just as important as interceptions for defensive backs, but you can't convince Kenny Wilhite of that right now because he felt like he broke on that ball perfectly. He beat Matt Cody to the ball and really should have come up with the interception.
First down, Matt. First down, not touchdown. Come back to the ball,
Osbaldiston
baby.
enters the game. Doug, you would have bet on a touchdown.
Oh, no
from the
question.
Ticats when they're in that close.
They did a good job there with motion and their releases to get guys open.
Barra puts it down, and Osbaldiston puts it through. Ticats restore a 6-point lead. And speaking of Ticats, and just down the road, the Argonauts, Thursday night Sky Dome.
We had a shootout of a preseason game with these guys, and
that went to overtime.
That went to overtime, and Hamilton pulled it out. Kavia threw a touchdown in the overtime to win it, and with Matty in there the whole game. I mean, the emotional level of that game, and it was the first preseason game. So I'm getting a little taste of the Argo Ticat rivalry.
Nice to jump right into this one. Do you think it'll be better than the Eskimo Stampeder rivalry?
The people around here definitely think so, so it's going to be nice to see.
Archer on first down. This is Jermaine Chaney, and now Archer, good fake, he had me upfield, and Rogers had a shot at the interception. Kelvin Means was the intended receiver. I thought Chaney took the ball.
Well, David Archer put that ball pretty much in the only place it could be for Kelvin Means to have a chance to come up with the ball. He's just going to run the post pattern, and Derek Greer is on his hip pattern. He's going to try and block Greer out with his body, then go up and catch it at the high point. He almost comes down with it. Sam Rogers comes in to help out his corner and get that ball out of there.
2nd and 10 with Means to the near side. Steve Clay flank to the far side of the field. Ottawa at the 35. Markers down. Archer stands in. Man open. He'll have the first down at the infractionist against Ottawa. Kelvin Means making the catch in front of Derek Greer. 15 yards the gain. We'll check out the penalty in a moment.
Procedure, Ottawa number 56. Repeat 2nd down.
Procedure call against the Rough Riders. Saskatchewan against Hamilton, the next home game for the Tiger Cats, Sunday, July 14th at 7 Eastern. For tickets, you can call those two numbers, 527-1508 locally or 1-800-714-ROAR. And there'll be a little green and white in the stands when the Rough Riders arrive in town on the 14th.
There always is in every stadium in the country. There's Rider fans.
2nd and 15.
Is everybody originally from Regina? Is that what it's?
Well, we were both there for portions of our careers. You're the only guy who hasn't lived there, I guess.
Not yet. I've hit 3 cities. I'm working on it. I'm trying to catch up with Matt.
Time count violation. Ottawa number 18. 2nd down.
Second time count violation against Archer.
And the Iberwind crowd is helping this cause out.
2nd and 20. All the receivers to the far side. Archer gets away, stands in and fires. A little high, intending that from Campbell. The pressure. The pass was intended for Steve Clay.
Well, Archer did a pretty good job just to shake the pressure because the front four for the Hamilton Ticats had the heat all over him. He had to step up in the pocket to take it from the shotgun. You see right there, Mike Campbell get a piece of him. He steps up, and as he's trying to throw on the run, just overthrows the target.
Lamley standing back at his 11-yard line on 3rd down. This coming down to Kaiser at the 50. Great speed. First of it there is Kaiser. Breaks through. He's inside the 45. 18-yard return for Jason Kaiser. Another injury down at the 45. Didn't quite catch the full number there.
I think it's Dwayne Knight.
Number 44.
Looks like a cramp. When you pull that toe back, it's often a cramp in your calf muscle.
Donegan had a pretty nice night in '94 as a Blue Bomber quarterback. 713 yards to set the record. Danny Barrett had just established the record the season before that Sam Etcheverry held for all those years.
There's his numbers tonight. He's just 300 shy of breaking the single game record. And there's 9 minutes left in this quarter, and then we got the whole fourth. That's possible, Doug.
There's plenty of time. And he can get 80 yards in a shot, no problem. So he's going to let it fly. He's got 36 attempts already, and we've got just a few minutes into the third quarter. He can throw the ball 60 times tonight, he'll do it.
You played this park a time or two in red and white and also in orange and black. But it's going to be a little different when you get here later this season.
You know,
in the double blue of the Argos, because you're not going to be a very popular guy here, I can guarantee.
I wasn't popular here to begin with, and I've struggled a little against Sudgy's teams in the past, on Southern's teams. He's done a good job defensively against me, so it's going to be that much more difficult when we play Hamilton.
What do they do? What do they do defensively that you've obviously watched most of this game. Is there anything that bothers you about their defense?
Yeah, what bothers me is they play defense a certain way against everybody else in the league, and then they play me and they change everything they do. Sudsy has a knack of, he knows I throw the ball with slots a lot, especially when I was in Calgary, and he doubles our slots and forces me to throw the ball to wide receivers and do things that I don't usually do. And that's his approach usually.
Well, he played a little defensive back in his time. 5 Grey Cup rings on that finger as a player, and 2 as an assistant coach for Don Southern.
Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer. He should know the game a little bit.
Absolutely.
First and 10, Tiger Cats. Beginning at the Ottawa 44. Keep it on the ground for Brian Walling. Marker down.
Now, wait a minute. Was that a running play?
Yeah, well, Donegan said he was going to throw in 3.
Okay, well, that's the third, I think. Unless you count a shovel pass or running play, I think that's the third play running. So that's it. We're done with running. Yeah, we'll just like that.
Pass the rest of the way. 10-yard gain there for Stans.
Offside, Ottawa number 94. Penalties decline. Second down.
Screens, shovel passes, and hitch screens count as runs. So they don't count.
Spoken from Doug Flutie and Matt Donegan. Any short pass is considered a running play. That's how they try and convince the coach.
Not quite a first down. We'll call it 9.5. 36 passing plays by the Tiger Cats and arguably 4 rushing.
Well, they're 1 over their limit.
5. Back-to-back running plays. Good for the first down for the Tiger Cats. 8:21 to go. In the third quarter, Donegan has found his rhythm again.
Well, this is really a big series for the Ottawa Rough Riders. They got to hold Hamilton to a field goal here if they want to stay in this football game, or it could get ugly.
On first down, Donegan with all kinds of time. End zone toss. No call on that. Jason Phillips was the intended receiver.
Yeah, Joe Miro was playing that nickel defensive back. It looks like he was free in the middle and just went over to help out on Jeter. And there you got the double coverage on Jason Phillips. Matt Donegan, you know what? He doesn't care. He's going to throw it into double coverage. He has confidence in his players to come up with the big play. And you see the 2 defensive backs right there. And actually Phillips in behind, both of them.
Second and 10. From the 31. Again, all kinds of time for Donegan. And he buys a little more. This could be it. Touchdown. Ken Long.
Well,
from the Birmingham connection up with Dunnigan as a member of the Tiger Cats in '96. Time count violation on the convert.
Looks like a little Doug Flutie magic there from Dunnigan.
Yeah, that's a little. Matt doesn't do that too much anymore. He usually just rears back and let it fly. He made 3 or 4 people miss, moved around. He's still got the athletic ability, and he's not afraid to tuck it under and run over somebody as well.
Looks like Jeff Cummins got his hands on him. Jeff's a pretty strong guy, and Dunnigan just broke that arm tackle. Ted Long is one of the guys that came over from Birmingham, and they hooked up a few times there for 65 times for over 600 yards, and they do it again tonight.
10 straight points for the Tiger Cats. And when you look at this Hamilton offense, Dunnigan has it on a roll right now. Ticats leading the Ottawa Rough Riders 27-15 as we take a break at Ivor Wynn. Matt Dunnigan of the Tiger Cat dugout with Marcus Grants, a couple of teammates from Birmingham last year. 10 straight points for the Tiger Cats. Make that 9 straight after the misconvert. 27-15 is the score as it stands now. Ready again for Osbaldiston to kick off. 7:02 to go, third quarter. That one got away. And this is Means. Kelvin Means on the return. He was a former Tiger Cat. Another marker at the 30. Joe Montford on the tackle. 27-yard return. And let's look back at Ted Long's touchdown made possible by the scrambling of Matt Dunnigan.
Now Doug Flutie, you've done this a few times. What is the quarterback thinking here? The pressure's breaking down, and I mean, what's up?
Bottom line is trying to get away, but keep your eyes upfield. And Matt does a good job of getting his head up. After he avoids the rush, he slides back to the side and keeps his head up and his eyes upfield, finds an open receiver. So many guys will just take their eyes off downfield and start running right away, and you miss out on some big plays because of that.
So for all the other quarterbacks in the league listening, there's a little. So it's basically the running part. The running part is Sandlot just trying to avoid him.
Exactly.
Ottawa first down. Archer has to get something going. Swings it to Cheney. Away from one. Good run by Jermaine Cheney to get a first down. 4 plays for the Tiger Cats to hit the end zone. 44 yards at a time of 1:58. The 31-yard reception by Ted Long for the touchdown.
Hey, it's Ted Long.
Couple of buddies there.
Hey, Birmingham, what's up? We miss you. Wish you were here.
They were together in Birmingham. Those two along with Dunnigan. Here's Archer to the far side. Clay makes the catch, and he's wrestled and fired out.
Well, that was
by Don Robinson.
Really a nothing play, but it just demonstrates the arm strength of a David Archer. I mean, he was on the hash mark closest to us and threw that ball basically to the sideline on the wide field, and Doug Flutie will tell you that's a long throw.
42-yard throw when you're going about 8 yards upfield.
Just get exactly 42 yards, not 41 and a half or anything like that.
Hey, these quarterbacks know how far it is.
Second of the bunch.
There it is again.
Open, and it'll be a first down. Kelvin Means has another first down. I'm looking at this. Tiger Cat offense. Dunnigan brought 4 receivers with him when he arrived from Birmingham.
In the run and shoot offense or run and shoot style of offense, you need a little continuity, and there's a lot of reading going on depending on coverage and crossing routes, or whether you run the seams, and that's a big part of the offense.
First down for Archer. Steps up. Has a man open. It's Lee Knights. Almost a first down. We'll see where they spot it. First catch for Lee Knight. He's a former Tiger Cat who just joined Ottawa this week.
David Archer just listened to Doug Flutie's coaching points, and when you're scrambling around and trying to avoid the rush, look upfield, you might find someone, and Archer did a nice job there, dumping it on.
An offensive tackle's favorite friend is the step up. Step up into the pocket and step forward. See, that wasn't a true scramble. That was just a step up and a slide, and the O-line still looks good, and it's nice and easy. That wasn't an uncontrollable just run around and just like the stuff I do.
Enough for a first down.
When you're panicked.
The stuff that everyone in the country says is lucky. That's what I love. How can you be lucky for so many years in a row and so many plays in a row? That's my question.
There's a little luck involved. Come on, Flutie, a little bit.
I don't know about that.
Well, the ball could have hit off Jimmy Cunningham's helmet, gone up in the air, and been intercepted. So,
like Don Matthews pointed out, you had another play after that, too.
Sure. Archer on first down, and Cheney made the catch. Do they rule it a fumble afterwards or not? It looks like
caused the fumble. Try and take a look at it here from the end zone. Are you just going to dump it off? It's hard to tell from that view whether or not it was knocked loose, but the officials were on the spot. They give it to Hamilton.
Mike Philbrick gets credit for the recovery.
So David Archer there trying to sell his point of view.
Tell you what, Matt's got the ball back. And he's got 400 yards already, or close to it. He's going after it.
Turnovers are even at 2 each. Dunnigan back this way for Matt Cody. Cody away from 1, away from 2. Room down the sidelines, and he's finally cornered near the 39.
Well, it's not going to be hard to rack up yards when you can throw like a 2-yard pass and your receiver rambles down the sideline for 30 of them. I mean, here's the pass. He's going to take about 3 steps out to the right, come back to the ball. That's about a 2-yard throw, and then he gets 30 yards on his own.
Dunnigan to the far side, one hopped it this time, and there's a marker down. Marcus Grant was the intended receiver. Holding against the Tiger Cats, the early indication from referee George Black. 4:37 to go in the third quarter. Ticats on top, 27-15.
I'll tell you, the scary thing about Matt is he tried to throw a little hitch there. He threw the hitch screen out here and all that. But his forte is putting it up over the top, and you know it's coming. And he throws the deep ball better than anyone in the league. So you've got to back off a little bit and be a little careful defensively.
That's how those hitch passes get opened up, and then you ought to watch the hitch and go.
It's fun to be a DB, huh?
You see 57 right at the top of your screen there at the end. That was the holding. Val St. Germain.
First and 20, actually. Deep, wide open. Not quite picked up. Good adjustment to the ball by Leonard Humphreys. Phillips looked to be wide open, and Humphreys came over and stole it away.
Well, Jason Phillips ran a really nice pattern. He turned Leonard Humphreys around, but Humphreys did what we call the speed turn or the blind turn. He turns his back to the quarterback, comes back. You're going to see Dunnigan roll out to his left and just let it go. Phillips does a nice job, but Humphreys, just to the left of your screen, has done the speed turn, gets himself back into position, and then goes up at the high point to pull that one down.
Keeps his eye on the comeback.
Keeps going back to the post pattern, and then times his jump, comes down to the pass. And big play for Ottawa.
Humphreys slightly shaken up, but he took the ball to the sidelines as a souvenir of his first CFL interception. Third turnover by the Tiger Cats. Ottawa first and 10, 35. Archer near side. He'll get a first down out of this one. Marcus. Well, Rogers makes the catch. And there's a marker down.
Well, this could be the same old thing. Was it a pick or was it interference? Calvin Means went in the middle. I think we got the pick this time.
I think that one was a bad call because he's just driving his own man. He never touched the man that was covering the slot. He was touching the corner. He was pushing on the corner, trying to drive him back, and never really made contact with the halfback who was covering the slot in the flat.
Well, they call it against Kelvin Means. It'll be first and 20.
They tried for a pick, but they didn't really get it.
Did you get a penalty for intention?
I don't think so.
Means to the near side this time. Steve Clay, far side of the field. Archer almost picked off, and then Means had an opportunity to turn around and catch it. Greer was covering number 20.
Well, Derek Greer did a nice job in the coverage. It's man-to-man going down the sideline on Kelvin Means. He's right in his hip pocket, and he turns around just at the right time. Archer's going to take it out of the shotgun. This is a timing throw to the sideline. Kelvin Means just going to turn around. But just as Means turns, Greer sees his eyes, turns with him, and makes a play.
Second and 20. Archer stands up and one-hopped it for Hess.
I think Mike Campbell got his hand on Archer's arm as he was trying to release that ball, and it didn't have a chance to get out there.
Hey, Doug, thanks very much for dropping by. We look forward to the showdown at Sky Dome.
It's going to be fun.
Ticats Argos, what, Thursday night, right?
You got it, Thursday night at the Sky Dome. So we'll be ready for him. Matt will be letting them fly next week, too. It's going to be interesting to see where he winds up tonight.
Yeah, I think about 1,000 yards total passing between you guys.
I just want to get Doug in here and just thank him for dressing up for the on-camera appearance.
This is sweet, huh?
Got the starter top and the Nike bottom on.
I'm just running down to come watch a football game. I don't know.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Lamley's kick, a good one, and rolling out near the Hamilton 29. A 66-yarder. Helps out the average just a little bit.
You're back. Part of his record-breaking seasons was thanks to me. I'll never wash this shirt again, by the way.
Matt Dunnigan having a nice night in his debut, regular season at least, for the Tiger Cats. Not holding back now. Went for Grant, and another marker down. In fact, two of them over there.
Yeah, Leonard Humphreys is going to get called here on the holding, and if there's such thing as a good penalty, this was a good penalty, because I'll tell you what, Marcus Grant.
Forward pass interference, Ottawa number 23. First down.
Leonard Humphreys does what he has to do. He's beaten by Marcus Grant. He grabs the shirt, trying to catch up. And this is one of the deals. Hey, if you get caught, that's not a bad penalty, or else it's 6 points.
Dunnigan on first down, fired high for Jason Phillips. 11th in receiving yards in 1995, 1,101 yards for Jason Phillips, number 2 with Birmingham. And most of those yards coming from Matthew Dunnigan.
Boy, they have speed to kill in this receiving core, and you know a guy that wants to throw the ball as much as Matt Dunnigan does. He loves to see it.
Just line them up, spread them out, throw the ball. Run 4, maybe 5 times a night. Not that time. Matt Cody, who has a 25-yard touchdown this evening.
Well, we talked about a good penalty in the last 2 plays ago. Now that was a good incompletion by Matt Dunnigan. Kenny Wilhite was breaking on that ball to Matt Cody, and had that ball been on target, I think Wilhite takes it back for 6 points. So I think Dunnigan saw it, just threw it in the turf, and there's Kenny Wilhite. He had a jump on that football. Dunnigan made the right decision there.
Last one's too hard from the hand. He should have caught it. He went up.
Oh yeah, the 2 quarterbacks saying, oh, he should have had it. Yeah, that was a pretty good throw. He should have had it. The receiver said, we got to get that one down a little bit. They're having their own meeting.
This is Clay. One hop to him. Great tackle by Brett Young. -5 on the return, 38 on the punts. So again, Archer starts deep in his own zone.
You know, David Archer has had some success with this Ottawa Rough Rider football team in this football game. They had some penalties that have ended drives. They had a couple of drop balls that ended drives. I mean, you think about the 2 time count violations that put them in second and long situations. So he's having some success, but if he ever needs it, this is the drive right now.
Ottawa has a long way to come from 1995. The team averaged just 19 points a game last season and allowed 38. No wonder the record was 3-15. Archer on first down looks to the near side as Rogers, and he'll get a first down out of that. Rogers did most of the work after taking a short screen. Greer and Kaiser making the tackle after a 13-yard gain.
I'm really impressed with Joseph Rogers. He's made some big plays for this football team in this game and shows some good ability to elude some tackles and has good speed.
Archer on first down, picked off by Hitchcock. The Ticat safety is inside the 20. What happened there?
Well, I'll explain to you what happened, because David Archer gets fooled a bit on the plays. Flags fly. I mean, you can be as experienced as a Dunnigan, a David Archer, or a Doug Flutie, but every now and then you can get fooled. Rob Hitchcock had slid down from his safety position and was in the linebacker position. David Archer did not count him when he looked for his read at the linebacker spot and threw it right to Rob Hitchcock. Caught, and you know he knows the mistake just as he saw it. He saw the number of the guy who made that interception. His first, by the way.
And after the interception by Hitchcock, unsportsmanlike conduct charged against the Rough Riders. That sets the Tiger Cats up at the 10-yard line. Dunnigan can hardly miss from here, can he? Flipped it to long. That's the 6th running play of the ball game, I think.
Well, Ray Bernard does a super job on the play. He's from the middle linebacker position, healthy now. See him up there stemming, showing blitz, and he falls out, gets off the block, and fights his way to the tackle and does a nice job of sticking it in the hole. He was hurt for most of last season. And boy, the Ottawa Rough Riders are very happy to have him back in the lineup. He led the league in tackles, 93 with 93 tackles.
Dunnigan, touchdown. Matt Cody, second of the game.
Well, they've got the timing down on the dance.
There was a great season in Hamilton last year. There's a lot expected of these Tiger Cats in 1996. So far, Dunnigan is delivering.
Well, it's a timing pattern to the outside, and Matt Cody does a nice job of sort of double clutching it, hanging on, and then sneaking into the end zone. And starting to click on all cylinders now for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. You're right, there is some high expectations on this football team, and you know it was a matter of time before they start to get it going.
Matt Cody, a couple of touchdowns, one from 25, one from 10.
Ottawa number 97. Penalty will apply.
And another penalty against the Rough Riders, and the frustration down there. Jeff Cummins this time. Penalty will be applied on the kickoff. Osbaldiston hit the post last time, missed the convert. Maroff has it down. Osbaldiston drives it into the cheap seats. That's the final play of quarter number 3. Ticats are all over the Rough Riders now at 34-15. Dunnigan celebrates, and we send you back to Double D.
Welcome back to CFL Control. It was close at the end of the first quarter, close at the end of the first half. Now Hamilton's really asserting themselves. Before we talk about the football game, there is some good news pertaining to the Canadian Football League. I guess you could call it labor peace, Marty.
Yeah, Darren, we do our share of condemning the CFL. I think the league needs to be commended for this. At a time where the prima donnas in baseball can't get anywhere close, the league and the Players Association agrees today to a 3-year deal, and I think that deserves some credit, because these are difficult times, and maybe they are on the same page, and for 3 years you'll see labor peace.
Yeah, so the CFLPA today decides to ratify a 3-year contract with the Canadian Football League. It seems as though Matt Dunnigan's got peace out there on the football field. He's going all over the place, and now they really are asserting themselves. We heard Doug Flutie talking about the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and it was neat to hear him assess this defense. I mean, here's a guy who can pick them apart. He's very astute.
Well, I think it's interesting to see how Doug Flutie operates, and I think by listening to him tonight on the telecast, you get a better idea of what he's thinking all the time. I mean, he's a true student of the game, and while he is watching the game tonight, he's analyzing Ottawa's defense. He's going to play them sooner or later. He's going to play Hamilton this week, and I know right now that he is putting his mindset together, which plays he's going to want to call at certain times, depending on which defense he sees. And, you know, I played with Ron Lancaster, I played with Tommy Clements, and I was always amazed at how they came up with the right play at the right time. And Doug Flutie, with all the research and the preparation that he does the same thing. That's what makes him so good.
Well, David Archer could use some help in this football game. Les Brown, during the course of this game, you've said, come back to the ball, because his receivers aren't really helping him out.
No, they're not helping him out at all. I think where the wagon just totally fell apart for Ottawa was when Sam Rogers touched the ball down there on the 5-yard line, and Ottawa has a chance to go in and score. He throws 2 passes out there, and I'm not trying to say that the corners for Hamilton aren't any good, because they are very good, but the Ottawa receivers are not coming back to the ball.
The corners in Hamilton learned from the best. Les Brown,
please.
CFL's all-time interception leader with 87.
Please.
5 minutes or so at the end for dance practice. And you saw that they have it well rehearsed.
Fourth quarter underway, and the kickoff sails right through. And over the head of Steve Clay. So add one more for David Archer to try and get back. 35-15 is the score now. Hamilton outscoring Ottawa 16-3 in the third quarter. And here are the rest of the numbers. Dunnigan over 400 at 432 yards, despite 3 turnovers. Time of possession decently close considering 20 points on the scoreboard.
And 300 yards net offense is not bad for Ottawa Rough Riders either, but they just have drives ending from penalties and drop balls, and it's awesome.
Archer for Means. Hitchcock on the tackle. Just 4 yards for Archer there. Interesting point made back at the studio a moment ago. The setup after the Rogers fumble when Ottawa had the opportunity, a couple of cracks at it from the 10-yard line, went 0 for 2 on those 2 tosses. That could have turned things around. Here's Means again. Breaks 1, breaks 2. And a big gain for the Ottawa Rough Riders. Stopped by Young. 28 yards.
We've seen a lot of this throughout the football game, how Ottawa has their big plays, called back because of penalties, and guess what?
Another one for Seeger this time. So Kelvin won't get to add that 28 yards to his total.
Come on, go! Get outside!
Procedure, Ottawa number 83. Repeat second down.
That's Joseph Rogers with a head start there. Peter Brock trying to work out some kinks in the Ottawa offense. It'll be second down. Second and 11. Archer looking deep, far side. Jump ball over there. Well defended by Derek Greer. Kelvin Means, 81. Lost the battle that time.
6 interceptions last year for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. He was part of a pretty good bookend from Eric Carter and Derek Greer, and he does a nice job running step for step down the sideline with Kelvin Means. And look at this. Puts that big right hand up there. He almost brought that down with one hand for the interception, but he'll take the knockdown. Good coverage by Derek Greer.
Lamley at his 20. Bouncing for Sam Rogers, and maybe a yard on the return as he cut right into cover. Jacobitz, number 20 for the Riders, made the tackle. There are happy times at Ivor Wynn. Ticats lead by 20. Matt Dunnigan having a pretty good time with his old receivers from Birmingham, particularly Marcus Grant. 4 catches for 117 yards at Ivor Wynn tonight.
And they were, of course, teammates last year in Birmingham, where they hooked up for 84 catches and 1,559 yards. Look at them go.
I love the uniforms this year. Look a lot better, don't they? Doesn't Dunnigan look great in the yellow and black out there?
Well, if you're his teammate, he looks good in any color. But I agree with you, John. I think that he fits this city perfectly. He's got the work ethic. He's like one of the toughest quarterbacks you'll ever run into. This is the kind of quarterback that this city loves to have.
Grant to the near side this time. Bert Thornton to the far side of the field. Dunnigan lots of time standing in and looking this time for Jason Phillips. Can't quite connect. With Eric Jeter covering. Jeter was Ottawa's second pick of the Vegas dispersal draft in 1995. 16 starts on the corner in Ottawa last year.
And he does a nice job of catching up. Jason Phillips has a step on him, but he has a great closing speed. Just catches up and puts his hand up there. Now that is close to being screening, which is pass interference. But as long as you do it quick enough, and looks like he's got a bit of a cramp after having to chase after little Jason Phillips.
I think both players were injured after the collision.
So I see Dunnigan was talking to Marcus Grant and then throws to Jason Phillips. That was maybe like try and throw the defense off? Was that what?
Maybe that's part of the deal. Jeter looks like he'll be back in a flash. 35-15, Hamilton leading Ottawa. 2nd and 10 at the 41 with 13-13 to go. In the final quarter of the first game at Ivor Wynd. Ticats against the Argos. A week from last night at Skydome. Game 2, the much anticipated showdown between Flutie and Dunnigan.
Well, I'd get my ticket in a hurry if I could get a chance to see that one.
All day for Dunnigan. Had a man open, Marcus Grant on his knees, couldn't quite hang on.
Real nice break by Jason Jakovich there. He comes from the safety position and gets his hand in front of that play. Joe Merrill was helping out on the play and just screened him enough to get that incompletion.
My old pal Miles Durrell, number 66, in his 19th CFL season. He's 41 years old. He's going to play till he's 49.
Let's see. Does he have to? Well, see, you know, when you stand 6'8", 330 pounds, you really don't have to block. You need a taxi cab to get around you. I mean.
High kick, and the punter is down. Osbaldiston. That's where the penalty marker is.
Ray Bernard is going to get nabbed for roughing the kicker.
And I have a message for Marty York from Miles Gurrell. He still has the column from a couple of years ago that he's got framed. And as soon as he quits, he's going looking for Marty. That's what he told me today.
Marty, I know you're watching right now, and that's what you have to deal with.
Contacting the kicker, Ottawa. First down.
Contacting the kicker called against the Rough Riders. So Osbaldiston goes down. Looks like the Rough Riders are going down too. They trail by 20. Paul Osbaldiston drew the penalty, roughing the kicker. Here's a look.
Well, if you get a piece of the ball, it's not roughing, but Ray Bernard had committed to trying to block it.
Got a piece of the kicker.
He got a piece of Paul Osbaldiston's right leg.
So the Ticats get it right back. 1st and 10 out across the 50. Dunnigan shovels it ahead to Walling.
That's going to be a holding.
Flag really billed as another passing play, but that's about as close as the Tiger Cats get to running the football. Holding is the call, and Tony Stewart out of the ball game. Walling is in his place with a hamstring problem.
Holding. Hamilton number 57. First down repeated.
Al St. Germain was nabbed there. Yeah, the word on Tony Stewart is that he has a hamstring pull, and Brian Walling will play the rest of this game. They say it's not that bad, so hopefully he'll be back for their next game, but they don't want to risk making this a 3 or 4 week injury, especially with a 20-point lead.
At this stage of things, it's comfortably in Matt Dunnigan's hands with Marcus Grant to the near side, Bert Thornton far side of the field. Dunnigan looks at 1st and 20. This is a real running play. Walling.
You know what?
A little delay.
These plays are coming in from Don Southern. They must, because he's saying, hey, come on, we got a lead now. Let's work on our running game in case we need it in Regina when there's a 50-mile-an-hour wind.
You're absolutely right. That's the way Southern thinks about football. As soon as the passing game is going well, he starts thinking about the playoffs. And he's an old-time football guy, and he knows you have to run the football at some point. And that's the point every time. You're going to have to run it sometime, so says he. Dunnigan escapes. And that's Matthews' first run. He should have a first down. Eric Jeter pinning Matt Dunnigan.
You think they're going to like Matt Dunnigan here in Steeltown?
They already love him. There's no question about it.
You see the way he was running that ball and put his head down? No hook slide from Matt Dunnigan.
There is a marker on the far side.
Offside, Ottawa number 50. Penalties declined. First down.
Mike Hendricks was nabbed there on the outside from the linebacker position. They're going to love him here, boy. Dunnigan, he's like a running back when he gets in the open field. He'll look to run over you before he'll look slide or run out of bounds.
Yeah, right.
This after 13 seasons into his 14th.
First down again. And Dunnigan. Miscommunication that time with Marcus Grant, or else he was very well covered by Jeter. Grant tried to get back to the ball. Jeter was in his way.
And Dunnigan didn't have any time to make a second read because Lloyd Lewis was bearing down on him, and Jeter had the coverage, so he just had to let that one go.
18 new faces on this Tiger Cat team for 96. When you look around, not many are unfamiliar with the Canadian game. Only two raw rookies. Dunnigan, of course, counts among the new faces along with Miles Gorell. So there's lots of experience added to the Tiger Cat roster. Second and 10. Another strike. That's Bert Thornton. He's the raw rookie who may not be in the lineup next week. Earl Winfield is on the injury list and expected back for that Argonaut game. I think it'll be pretty difficult to keep Winfield out of a game at Skydome next week.
Don Southern is real happy with Bert Thornton, but I can tell you one thing right now. When Earl Winfield's ready to go, he will be playing that wide receiver position.
16 for Thornton. Winfield has some muscle spasms. Here's Dunnigan on first down. Home run toss. Had two receivers in the area. It bounced to the turf between them. Greg and Marcus Grant were in the end zone.
Well, here's a point for you, John. I mean, Matt Dunnigan, game's well in hand. He's racked up some big yardage, but we all know about his injury history, and they got a pretty good backup that they may need throughout this season with 9:50 left in the game. I mean, at what point does Anthony Calvillo come in and get some time to work on his skills?
Maybe after another 3 points. It's a 20-point lead right now.
Now, I know how competitive Dunnigan is, and I know he'd just like to put another 7 on the board before he takes his exit, but you got to think that Don Southern's thinking about it.
Dunnigan is down. The guy who was standing next to you from Toronto, Mr. Flutie, a few moments ago, is a hard guy to get out of the lineup, too. He likes to play 90 minutes a game, even though there are only 60.
Oh, you know, those guys want to play every play. See Dunnigan looking to his left. He has to go back to the backside, and Jeff Cummins is right there. And you know what? Jeff Cummins has a great sack dance. But he's a competitor, and he knows that with his team down at this point,
no time to be dancing.
Yeah, exactly.
13-yard loss. It's out of Osbaldiston's field goal range, definitely. He's standing at his own 50. Steve Clay returning for Ottawa, and there's not much there. Justin Ring leading the Ticat tacklers. Matthew and Andrew chatting up on the sidelines as we take a break.
CFL Live on TSN. Brought to you in part by Diet Pepsi. Diet Pepsi has no diet aftertaste.
Back for the final 8:48 with David Archer at the control for the Ottawa Rough Riders.
Derek Greer, he saw 6 points and tried to sneak underneath Calvin Means on that play on the sideline. And he snuck under. The ball went over his head, and Calvin Means pulled it down. Had Calvin Means had a little more room over there, that would have gone for a lot more yardage.
And up for the first down, Archer ahead as he fires. Joseph Rogers. Some pressure on Archer. He evaded it.
Got to get up on that.
And got a 14-yard gain.
Yeah, Jermaine Younger is going to come. Archer's going to turn around, and Jermaine Younger is right in his face as he goes to throw the ball and takes a licking there.
First and 10 Ottawa out at the 45 now. Archer with time. He goes deep and just a little too deep for Kelvin Means. With Derek Greer covering again.
Well, I'll tell you that David Archer has been trying to get this match up with Kelvin Means, but Derek Greer just will not have any part of it, and during the crucial part of that play, he had the coverage perfectly, and Archer's just thinking, what do I need to do to hook up for a deep one to my main go-to guy?
2nd and 10. Ottawa Rough Riders down by 20. 3 receivers near side. Archer can't get away.
You know what? He wanted it again. He looked back over to Kelvin Means. This time he's going to go deep down the sideline and turn out. But guess what? Derek Greer had him covered perfectly. Archer had to bring it down, and Samuel Hairston records his first sack of 1996.
Hairston arrived at the free agent camp for Hamilton in 95.
See Hairston coming into your screen very shortly. Right there on his feet. He's going to crawl down and
Good hit, baby.
come across the top.
Good job, baby.
Here's Lamley. It'll bounce in front of the Tican receivers and bouncing back. Lamley comes up and he might have the ball. Flags are everywhere, but it's Lamley. Underneath the pile, I'll bet you a dime.
Now Lamley can cover. Now Lamley can recover this ball. He's onside, obviously.
We have no infraction on the play. The ball was legally recovered by the kicker.
That's
First
Ottawa
down.
football.
So 7:10 to go and a 20-point ball game. Archer puts one in here. It's a break. We could have a finish.
All punchers are told if that ball is short or bouncing backwards and they're not recovering it, hustle down there and try and recover it. They're going to throw the flag because they see the white shirt in there. But the kicker has every right to that football. Catches it on the first hop.
Rough Riders set up at the 41, 1st and 10, 6:59 to go in the final quarter. Archer can't find anyone. Hairston again. This time it pops loose. And the Rough Riders are lucky to get it back.
Well, David Archer was definitely trying to throw. He was definitely trying to throw this ball deep. This is Hairston right here. He's going to come off the corner. Now he wants to throw the hitch pass, but Hairston's right in his face. So he has to turn back, try and buy some time. And then when he tries to throw it against his body, Hairston.
That was a fumble.
Tactusion. That looked like that arm was in the throwing motion.
I was down at his side almost, Len. Here's Archer. On 2nd down, Lee Knight was the intended receiver. Jason Kaiser and Tom Gerhardt.
Jason Kaiser was playing in that safety position, and he did a nice job of coming over to help on the coverage. Safety's job is just to sit back in that zone when the ball's in the air, to fly over there, and you see him coming from the right of your screen and getting up there and getting involved, and he is right by the numbers. Now that's a long way to travel from the middle of the football field for free safety, and he did a nice job there.
Lamley is in again on 3rd down.
They got a pass to you.
Kaiser and Greg are deep this time. And it'll be a single point through the end zone. Well, Dunnigan's not quite finished for the night, is he?
No, this
4-yard single.
This surprises me a little bit. I mean, you got Anthony Calvillo on the sideline. I mean, Matt Dunnigan's your guy. There's no question about it that he's going to lead this football team throughout the year. But this is a good opportunity in a football game to give your backup quarterback, and one that's accomplished in the league, some extra time.
Well, that's why you're a teacher, not a coach, buddy.
Calvillo has the record for attempted passes against Dunnigan last year.
Well, maybe that's it. He wants to try and break his buddy's record from last year.
Well, there's one more. Matt Cody. And he escapes. Should have been nailed for, wow, barely a gain. He's got well, he's only got 3, actually. Should have been nailed for a loss, in other words.
Oh, 3 pretty spectacular yards. Peter Brock not sure what he has to do, but they'll regroup for the next game next week.
Gain is 3, 2nd and 7. Tiger Cats at the 38. Dunnigan has the first drilled to the turf by Chris Sangaris.
It's one of the things about when you're up on a team and the opposing defense is a little bit frustrated. Brian Walling saying, okay, I cut that underneath pass and I just got tomahawked across the head by Ray Bernard. Or was it Sangaris on that tackle? Sangaris, yeah.
Long, halfway to a first down.
You know, I'll tell you what this is. I mean, obviously they're not going to make the change in backup quarterback, and it looks to me like Dunnigan is running the same offense he did in the first quarter, which just tells you that he's trying to get some more continuity with his offense, trying to get some more repetitions. Right now they're just thinking, let's just keep working on our game. Anthony Calvillo is happy to sit on the sideline like you saw him there. Just watch the action.
2nd and 6. Dunnigan, great protection, and he has another first down. Good catch by Matt Cody. Down at the Ottawa 45, Tican fans having a pretty nice time at Ivor Wynn tonight. Polite applause on first downs and a big roar on touchdowns, of course. Another 13 yards for Matt Dunnigan's totals.
Boy, Don Southern there didn't look like it was the game that was in the bag, did he?
No, he didn't. Over the middle again, and Ted Long couldn't make the catch. It was Jeter covering. 17.
Eric Jeter's had a nice game. He had one interception last year with Ottawa, and he's done a real good job for this secondary against some pretty speedy receivers and a darn good quarterback.
Use the ball, man. Where is the ball?
Coming over from the Vegas dispersal draft in '94, and he's been a great acquisition for the Ottawa Rough Riders.
Second and 10. Dunnigan stops and surrenders. There was nowhere to go that time. Well, he didn't take the hit. He just dived under, and everybody went over top.
That was called an Ottawa team meeting at the quarterback.
But Dunnigan eluded any kind of injury down there by swerving into the charging lineman. He'll take the sack at an 8-yard loss.
You see him there. He's telling the team, hey, this one's not over. Let's keep working hard, keep working on our game, because I've seen it and I've been around this league a long time, and comebacks are a dime a dozen in the league. They happen all the time.
Osbaldiston at the 42. He's been kicking well. This is Clay, and there's no return because Osbaldiston put a great angle on the punts. A 50-yarder by Osbaldiston, and he puts it out to about the 4-yard line. Kicks don't come much better than that. Paul Osbaldiston is a big guy for a kicker, 6'3", 240 pounds. Do you think he's been on the Toledos lately?
Well, he's done a super job in this football game, I'll tell you that. He's told to keep that ball between the numbers and the sideline. I'm not sure that even Don Southern can hope for out at the 4-yard line.
Yeah, actually, it's spotted at the 2.5 now, so it's even better than we reported going to break. 11th year in Hamilton out of western Montana.
Second in the league last year in average yards punted with 44.4. Don Southern knows how valuable in the Canadian Football League your kicker is.
Riders forced to begin at the 2.5, and Rogers, the intended receiver, the hit supplied by safety Rob Hitchcock, and frustrations continue for David Archer.
Hitchcock's had a good game. Got his first CFL interception in the third quarter, and snuffed out another Ottawa drive and got the nod at the safety position, and Don Southern says he's quite a hitter.
Hamilton Rookie of the Year in '95. Rob Hitchcock out of Weber State. Archer got a dangerous pass away to Rogers. He didn't stand a chance of getting a first down. Hitchcock again. Hairston had pressure on Archer in the end zone.
Yeah, David Archer has done a pretty good job of eluding the first pass rusher, and it was the same thing. Samuel Hairston, number 92 right there, does a nice move coming underneath on Chris Burns and gets the pressure on Archer. Barely gets it off, but it's short of the first down.
Lamley punting from his end zone. Ticats want great field position. This is Kaiser. Took a pretty good hit right at the 50-yard line. Ticats are ready to wrap up. Victory number 1 with 2:17 to go. They lead by a bunch.
Hey, I'm Dean, and from my Labatt Genuine Draft commercial, we're going straight to the draft source. First, Hans puts the ingredients in here, then mixes. And baits. And baits. Any questions? And then Hans fills each bottle with the same draft that he puts in the kegs and seals the draft freshness in with one of these. Any questions? Run the clip.
For the fresh taste of keg draft sealed in a bottle, Labatt Genuine Draft.
That's the end of the tour. Any questions?
Anthony Calvillo at the controls for the Hamilton Tiger Cats to mop up after Matt Dunnigan. And he went for a pretty big toss, and it's picked up. Tommy Henry on the return. Calvillo's first pass intercepted, and Henry still returning. He's out to the 41-yard line.
Well, we saw it in the Calgary-Saskatchewan game when Danny Barrett came in the game late and threw in his first pass throws an interception to Tyrell Ulmer, and Anthony Calvillo singing, boy, I wanted to get the big play to show that I can play too, but he tried to take too much and throws it into the seam. Tommy Henry cuts underneath, makes a nice play on the ball, then he gets up, thinks, yeah, that was a great interception. Wait a minute, no one's touched me.
Yeah, no one has me, so here I go. Cody was the intended receiver. So it's 1st and 10 Ottawa near the 40-yard line. That one is tipped and is it intercepted going the other way. Not quite. Younger had an opportunity. That's Jermaine Younger. Had a chance. Hairston, who's been mentioned a time or two tonight.
Jermaine Younger has a nice vertical. He got up there to knock that ball down.
A minute 58 to go at Iberwin and Hamilton. Ticats warming up for a showdown with the Argos at the Sky Dome on Thursday night. Archer on 2nd and 10.
Well, I don't know if that was who he's throwing it to. Looks like Kelvin Means came up with the catch.
Most passing attempts in one game, Saskatchewan versus Winnipeg at 108.
You know what? I think we're going to
91. Austin versus Dunnigan, I guess, right? Archer adds one more to the total. Hang on, there's a penalty marker down as Calvin Archer connected with Means for a 16-yarder. This would be costly to the Ottawa Rough Riders. Means is their top and most experienced receiver. Penalty going against the Tiger Cats with 1:39 to go.
Illegal block above the shoulders. Ottawa number 56.
Big time.
Pretty good first outing for that man.
What's up, Mike Kelly? G. Wilcox. Well, like Jake said, man, a win's a win. Got a lot of corrections. We'll be in film till Sunday, making corrections.
But I can honestly say he's got that dance down. They might be in films going over the offense and fixing that up.
Yeah, I'm sure. When you look at these numbers, no one can figure this is a little bit of an off game for Dunnigan. 30 of 54, 430 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception.
Guys like Dunnigan and Doug Flutie and David Archer, these guys are perfectionists. And even though he had the big yards, you see Calvin Means heading to the sideline. He looks like he got bruised up on the play, but those guys are perfectionists. And when, even if they have 500 yards passing, it's not enough unless it works the way they want it to work. And obviously Dunnigan wasn't happy with it.
Well, it's a 35-16 lead at this still in there trying. Hess couldn't make the catch.
Walk away. Stay in the game.
And if you've tuned in for Sports Desk, we're running a little long at Ivor Wynn in Hamilton. It'll follow CFL Live tonight. 35-16, the Ticats lead the Ottawa Rough Riders. Close at the half, 6-point game at the half. Ticats really opened it up in the third quarter, scoring 16 compared to Ottawa's 3. Second and 20. Archer gets a little more than half of that back. Lee Knight, the former Tiger Cat.
Well, it's a small victory for Lee Knight to catch one on his old teammates over the middle, and it was a pretty nice catch as he was being hit by Calvin Tiggle.
Hamilton passing record was set by Joe Zuger in 1962 at 475 yards. Here's Archer looking for Hess, and it's picked off.
No.
Oh, Hess got it.
Hess.
Somehow, that went right through
Brett Young.
Tips of Brett Young. I thought there was the interception there.
Brett Young cannot believe that he was just outfought for that football by Bill Hess. Brett Young had position. He out-jumped Hess for the football. It looked like he came down with it, and then Hess just took it from him before they hit the ground.
25-yard touchdown. David Archer to Bill Hess. And Brett should have had the interception here. Watch again.
Well, Archer's going to throw it to the corner, and Bill Hess is just, you're going to see there, right there, Brett Young has the ball. As they go to the ground, Bill Hess fights him for it and wins. Hey, the play's not over till you hit the ground.
That's true. The Rough Riders have 23 on the board now compared to 35 for the Tiger Cats, but hardly enough time to come back.
Well, you know they're going to line up the onside kick and give that a shot, and the Hamilton Tiger Cats and probably Brett Young will have to come right back out there.
They need two majors to win at this point in time.
Brett Young was thinking, okay, now I got a stat for the boards in my interception. Not so. Not over yet.
I've seen happier head coaches who have watched quarterbacks put up 430 yards passing, 3 touchdowns.
Don Southern is not happy right now. We won't even try and read lips. Brian Walling having to play after Tony Stewart was hurt with the hamstring. Now, Xander Stewart will be back.
Speaking of unhappy, there's Jim Gilstrap, who was feeling the heat before the season began. 4 plays, 41 yards in less than a minute. Archer to Hess, who stole it away from Brett Young.
Well, I find that pretty hard to think of a head coach who is on the bubble before the season even starts. I mean,
I'm just reading it in the newspapers.
Hey, absolutely, and I've read it too, and I don't quite understand that.
Onside kick. Lamley puts it up. Jump ball. And it looks like the Tiger Cats might have got it first.
Yes, they did.
Hang on, the Rough Riders are pointing.
The Ottawa Rough Riders have it.
Kaiser got his hand on it.
Well, now, I brought this story up a few times, but I can remember back, we were playing the Calgary Stampeders, and I know there's players around the league rolling their eyes because every time I see them, they say, you're not going to bring up that story again, are you? But we were down by 3 touchdowns, and Tom Burgess brought us back with 2 minutes and 18 seconds left to win it.
Well, there's a minute 10 to go. You need 2 touchdowns here.
Hey,
you've got David Archer at the controls. Improbable. Here's Hess. Breaks a couple and gets a couple. Now a minute 5.
I know this is part of their game plan, and they want to stick to their game plan in most situations, but with a minute and 5 left and you're down by 2 touchdowns, you got to throw the ball down the field. I mean, those 2-yard hitch passes aren't going to help you now.
Second and 8, an even minute to go. Archer for Clay. He's out of bounds after picking up a first down, forced out by Hitchcock.
They got to think about going to the end zone or going deep pretty soon. They got to have time to score.
And score again.
Onside kick again, and then score again.
That one's batted down. It's going to be a short one, too.
Mike Campbell looked like got his hand on that football. You run those short passing game, the underneath or the hitches, just get your hands up. Mike Campbell had a pretty good game tonight.
Archer puts it up again, deeper this time. And picked up by Derek Greer. Joseph Rogers, the intended receiver.
Well, Archer had to take a chance to throw the ball down the field. Derek Greer knew that, and he was just waiting for his opportunity. He sat in the short flat, and just as that ball was thrown, he fell off it. Gilstrap knew it was a tall order to have to come back 2 touchdowns, but you're going to see Jeter just slide right underneath this one perfectly and come up with the catch.
Little record here in Hamilton tonight. Most passes attempted in one game. Breaks the old record, Saskatchewan versus Winnipeg in '91. I was guessing it's Austin against Dunnigan in that one. And the new record is established here tonight. Dunnigan against Archer. Brian Walling for a couple, running down the clock to 32 seconds. So Don Southern, the smiling head coach of the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Still not happy. He's looking at the clock. Okay, 32 seconds. Is there a way? I'm not taking any chances.
We can't lose the game. We might have played better in some areas, but we can't lose this. Come on, Sudsy. Win number 1.
He's still yelling at his assistants and making sure everybody's right.
He enjoys the game, doesn't he? Enjoys the game of football. Great guy to be around. And he knows a little about this league.
Yeah, I would say he's been around long enough to know what goes on out there on the field.
I think he's been around longer than Lancaster, hasn't he? We're going back to the Ticat days.
Now, John, you're going way back before, you know, I was conceived. But
oh, come on now.
But I know Don Southern's been
30 years or something. Didn't you come to the ballpark at about 3 or something? That's it, Ticats. Come away with a win, Don Southern. Gets ready for Don Matthews and the Argos in a little trip down the Queen Elizabeth Highway next Thursday night. Matt Dunnigan engineered the victory. It wasn't all that pretty, and Dunnigan is worried about watching the game films tomorrow, too, but the Ticats do have a win. Final score, 35-23 on CFL Live. Tonight's Corral Radically Canadian player of the game is number 16, Matthew Dunnigan.
Second pass out here to Mac, or second touchdown for Mac Cody, and the best part about this play, coming right up. The outstanding dance.
Now that is radically Canadian. Ticats on the right end of a 35-23 score in Hamilton.
CFL Live on TSN. Brought to you by Corel, world leader in CD-ROM technology.
With TSN, you're live and interactive. Here are the final QB1 standings. Welcome back to CFL Control. Just enough time to get a few final comments. Les Brown, let's start with you.
Well, my comments are going to be really quick here. I don't understand the coaching points here. For one, you got Matt Dunnigan, and he's still in the game when you're up by 20, and there's only like 10 minutes to go in the game. And you get him out of the game, and then you get Anthony in the game, then you get some experience there in case Matt does get hurt. Another point, with Ottawa's coach, you know, like they're down, there's third down and whatever, and he decides to punt the ball for a single. I don't understand that.
Boy, I tell you what, Les, you're going to learn. The longer you stay here, we're going to teach you some of this stuff. It's only the third game of the season. You know, Matt Dunnigan needs time to get his offense going, to get comfortable with it. That's why he stays. That's why you're here and you're not coaching. I know you want to coach, but I don't like your chances.
Well, I'll tell you, I thought other than that only pass guy, Calvillo had a great game tonight, but
Archer,
good news for Ottawa. Archer survived this game, and I'm not sure that Gilstrap's going to survive next week.
You know what? I think that's unfair on Jim Gilstrap. It's one game into the season. You got to give him a little bit of time.
What you fail to understand, it goes back to last week.
Okay, well,
Last year.
Look forward to
Last
next week. Make sure you stay tuned to the Sports Network. We'll have another CFL thriller for you. This is going to be a good one, Leaf. You're going to be in Commonwealth Stadium as Tracy Ham returns to Edmonton with the Montreal Alouettes. They'll be facing Danny McManus, Eric Blount, and that nasty Eskimo defense. That's Friday, July the 5th at 9:30 Eastern Time. From all of us here, thanks for watching. Sports Desk is coming up next.